What if you could rewire your mindset and make your daily habits work for you instead of against you? Imagine waking up every day feeling energized, focused and motivated to tackle anything that comes your way. Sounds great, right? The truth is, small positive habits can completely transform the way you think, feel and act. In today's video, we'll explore 20 powerful habits that will help you reshape your mindset, boost your productivity, and give you the confidence to live your best life. These habits aren't complicated, and they don't require drastic changes. They're simple actions that you can start incorporating into your routine right now. The best part, they'll help you develop the mental strength to push through challenges and stay focused on what really matters. Stay with us until the end, and let's dive into the practical steps that will help you become the best version of yourself. Habit 1. Wake up early and take control of your morning. Wake up early and take control of your morning. Sounds simple, right? But it's one of the hardest things most people never master, and it's the exact reason why so many drift through life, half awake, half committed, and half alive. If you want to rewire your mindset, if you want to take charge of your life, your habits, your growth, and your goals, this is where it all starts. The morning. The first decision you make when that alarm rings, that decision sets the tone for your entire day. The world is quiet, the noise hasn't started, and the distractions haven't kicked in. That's your time. That's your window of power. When you wake up early, you send a message to your brain that you're in control, that you're serious, that you're not just existing, you're building something. Most people hit snooze and fall back into sleep. But here's the truth, they're not just going back to sleep, they're going back into avoidance. They're escaping responsibility. They're choosing delay over progress. And every time you do that, you're reinforcing a mindset of resistance, of hesitation, of fear. You're training your mind to avoid effort. And the more you avoid effort, the weaker you get. Now, I want you to understand something clearly. Waking up early is not just about time. It's about discipline. It's about claiming the first part of your day before the world claims it for you. If you wait until the world wakes up, it'll drag you into its chaos. Messages, notifications, noise, demands. The early morning is the only time you fully own, and if you give that up, you give up ownership of your life. You've got to develop the habit of getting out of bed when you say you will. That builds inner strength. That builds belief. That builds momentum. You'll start to feel different because you're keeping your own word. And there's power in that. Not just physical power, mental and emotional power. When you get up early, you're ahead. Not just in time, but in energy. You don't start the day reacting, you start the day creating. You're proactive. You're focused, you have time to think, to breathe, to plan. You're no longer waking up and rushing. You're waking up with calm and clarity. And people feel it. When you walk into a room, they'll feel the difference. You'll be centered while others are scattered. You'll be focused while others are frantic. Because you took charge of your morning, and it shaped your entire presence. You don't need to be perfect. This isn't about waking up at 4 a.m. to impress anyone. This is about consistency. Waking up when you said you would. Getting up before the world starts pulling at you. Giving yourself a chance to build the life you want before the noise kicks in. Start small if you have to. Set the alarm just 30 minutes earlier. Don't check your phone. Don't look at emails. Just get up, wash your face, breathe deep, and ask yourself one question: what do I need to do today to move forward? That's it. Take control of that moment. That question will guide you. Now some people will say, "But I'm not a morning person," and I say, who told you that? Who convinced you that your identity is fixed, that your habits are permanent, that your patterns can't be changed? You weren't born a morning person or a night owl. You were shaped into one by your environment. But what's been shaped can be reshaped. What's been learned can be unlearned. You have more control than you think. Your body can adapt. Your mind can adjust. It's uncomfortable at first, but so is growth. Change always asks something from you before it gives anything back. It tests your resolve before it rewards your effort. And if you're serious about rewiring your mindset, this habit is foundational, because it builds all the others. You can't build habits without time. You can't reflect, plan, study, or grow if your day is already hijacked the moment you wake up. You need that protected time to do the real work. Not the busy work. Not the endless tasks. The real work, the kind that rewires how you think and how you live. Think about what you could do in that first hour. You could move your body. You could journal your thoughts. You could read a chapter from a great book. You could review your goals. You could plan your priorities. You could build your mind, your heart, your direction. That hour might be quiet on the outside, but it's loud on the inside. That's where your inner strength is built. Now don't expect motivation to carry you. That's a mistake. People wait for motivation and end up waiting their whole lives. Motivation might get you out of bed once or twice, but discipline is what keeps you consistent. Discipline is a decision you make ahead of time. It says, "I don't care how I feel. I do what I said I'd do." And when you live like that, you become unstoppable. Your brain starts changing. Literally, you build new patterns. Your sense of identity grows stronger. You stop negotiating with weakness. You stop making deals with laziness. You just get up and move. And when you live like that, day after day, the momentum becomes impossible to ignore. You start walking differently. You start talking differently. You start acting like someone who believes they're meant for more. That's what this habit gives you. The power to choose yourself before the world chooses your attention. The power to slow down and think, instead of reacting all day long. The power to align your actions with your values. Most people never do that. They're always behind, always exhausted, always reacting. But not you. Not anymore. You don't need to shout about it. You don't need to announce it. Just wake up early and do the work quietly. The results will speak louder than words ever could. And people will notice. They'll wonder what changed. Why you're more confident. Why you're more focused. Why you're moving with purpose. But you'll know. You'll know that it started with one small choice. One decision to take control of your morning, instead of giving it away. And that one decision became a habit. And that habit rewired your entire mindset. It doesn't happen overnight. But if you're willing to commit, to show up for yourself day after day, the change will be undeniable. And you'll look back and wonder why you ever lived any other way. So take this seriously. Don't treat it like a trend. Don't treat it like a temporary fix. This is a lifestyle. This is a mindset. This is you saying to yourself, "I deserve more, and I'm willing to do the work to get it." Wake up early. Not because you have to, because you want to, because it gives you time, because it gives you power, because it gives you clarity, because it puts you in charge. That's what this habit gives you. Your life back. And that, my friend, is worth waking up for. Habit 2. Write down 3 wins before you start your day. Every day is a new chance to train your mind to think stronger, feel clearer, and act with more confidence. But most people wake up and let the day hit them without any control. They reach for their phones, read the news, get pulled into other people's problems, and before they've even taken a moment to center themselves, they're already overwhelmed. That's not how winners live. That's not how mentally strong people shape their day. If you want to take real control of your mindset and start rewiring your thoughts for success, peace, and strength, then it starts with one simple but life-changing habit. Write down 3 wins before you start your day. You may think it sounds too easy, but don't confuse simplicity with weakness. What seems simple on paper becomes powerful when done with consistency and purpose. This habit rewires your mind to see progress, to remember what's working, to focus on strength over struggle. The way you start your day will either build momentum or destroy it. And when you start by reminding yourself of what you're already doing right, you walk into the day with clarity and power. This isn't about bragging. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect. This is about focus. This is about mental direction. Your brain is constantly scanning your environment for meaning. And if you don't give it the meaning, it will find it in negativity, distraction, stress, or fear. That's why so many people spiral into anxiety. They begin the day thinking about everything that's wrong. But when you take the time to grab a pen, take out your notebook, and write down 3 wins from yesterday, or even the past week, you remind yourself that you are not stuck, you are not weak, and you are not failing. These wins don't have to be massive. You don't need to change the world. You don't need to close a huge business deal or run a marathon. Sometimes, a win is just showing up when you didn't feel like it. Sometimes it's making a healthy decision when your old habits tried to pull you back. Sometimes it's staying calm in a situation that used to trigger you. These are the small victories that build a strong mind. Most people ignore their progress. They focus on what's missing. They beat themselves up over what's not done. And that creates a pattern of mental punishment. You can't grow from that. You can't feel peace from that. You can't get stronger if you keep telling yourself you're not enough. That's why this habit is so important. When you write down 3 wins, you force your brain to recognize effort, discipline, resilience. You break the loop of self-judgment and start creating a loop of self-trust. When you focus on your wins, your energy shifts, your shoulders relax, your breathing slows down, you feel more grounded. And that feeling changes how you walk, talk, and interact with the world. You don't come from fear anymore, you come from strength. You don't chase validation anymore. You own your value. That shift creates a different reality, because when your internal world changes, your external world follows. People around you will notice it. They'll sense that you're more composed, more optimistic, more certain, but they won't know what changed. You'll know it started with those few quiet moments each morning, pen in hand, writing down your own proof that you're not who you used to be, that you are growing, that you are improving, that you are becoming someone who respects their own progress. You don't have to believe in yourself perfectly. You just need to train your mind to look for evidence of growth, because your brain believes what it sees most. If you constantly see setbacks, you'll start believing that's all you are. But if you consistently look for wins, your identity starts to shift. You stop seeing yourself as someone struggling to change and start seeing yourself as someone who is changing. And that shift in identity is what creates long-term transformation. You don't stay consistent with new habits. if you don't believe they're who you are. But when you build a foundation of wins, your mind starts saying, yes, I am someone who shows up. Yes, I am someone who follows through. Yes, I am someone who grows, learns, and adapts. This isn't some shallow positive thinking. This is cognitive conditioning. This is grounded in how the brain works. Your thoughts shape your emotions shape your actions, and your actions shape your life. So when you begin your day by writing 3 wins, you are literally programming your brain to see yourself through the lens of ability instead of deficiency. That's not hype. That's psychology. Even if you had a tough day yesterday, you can find something that went right. And that's the whole point. This habit teaches you how to stop overlooking what matters. Most people remember 1 negative moment and forget 10 positive ones. That's a mental bias you must fight. Because if you don't, your mindset will always tilt toward weakness. You'll always doubt yourself, even when you're doing well. You'll always feel like you're not enough, even when you're progressing. And that keeps people stuck in a loop of overthinking and self-doubt. But you don't have to live like that. You can shift the story. You can wake up, sit down, and say to yourself, before I take on this day, I'm going to remind myself what I did right. You reclaim your inner dialogue. You shift your emotional state. You step into your day with strength instead of insecurity. Write it on paper. That matters. Don't just think it. Write it. Feel it. Look at your own handwriting and say, that's my proof. Writing slows your brain down. It gives your thoughts weight. It makes your effort feel real. When you write, you remember. When you remember, you reinforce. And when you reinforce, you repeat. That's how habits stick. You don't just try harder. You repeat the actions that lead to strength. You keep showing up for yourself. You keep seeing yourself grow. You keep pointing your focus toward progress. And when you do that every morning, your confidence builds naturally. Not from ego, not from fake hype, from proof. And what's the long-term effect of that? You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop needing other people to validate you. You stop waiting for permission to feel good. You start realizing that your value isn't something you chase, it's something you notice. You realize you're already on the path. You're already improving. And that belief carries you through hard days. So here's what to do. Every morning, right after you wake up, before the day distracts you, before the noise hits you, sit down with a pen and write 3 wins. Don't rush. Think clearly. Feel them. Write them down like they matter. Because they do. Because you matter. And if one of those wins is small, that's fine. Don't judge it. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're trying to reinforce a new mindset. Maybe one win is that you stayed calm during stress. Maybe one win is that you worked out even when tired. Maybe one win is that you didn't quit, that you stayed in the room, that you kept going. That counts. That builds mental toughness. And mental toughness is what separates those who just talk about growth from those who actually live it. Do this daily, not once in a while, not just when you feel like it. Make it a part of your life. Make it as automatic as brushing your teeth. And soon your mind will start doing it automatically throughout the day. You'll start noticing your wins as they happen. And when that happens, you know the rewiring is working. You're no longer just reacting. You're reflecting. You're reinforcing. You're building mental muscle. You won't need to force confidence. You'll feel it. You won't need to fake progress. You'll see it. And once you build that inner certainty, nothing outside of you can shake it. That's what makes this habit powerful. It puts the focus where it belongs on your growth, your actions, your direction. Because you're not here to just get through the day. You're not here to survive. You're here to lead your own life, to shape your own thoughts, to own your own progress. And that kind of power doesn't come from luck. It comes from what you choose to focus on, daily, deliberately, intentionally. So wake up and give yourself that time. 3 wins, just 3. Every morning. That's your anchor. That's your mirror. That's your daily reminder that you're not falling behind, you're rising. You're not stuck, you're shifting. You're not average, you're aware. That's the mindset of someone who's serious about changing their life. And if you're serious, you'll do it. Not just once, but every day. Because you understand this isn't about motivation. This is about ownership. And every time you write down those wins, you take ownership of your journey, one morning at a time. Habit 3. Speak kindly to yourself every single morning. Most people start their day with pressure instead of peace, and with judgment instead of support. And what's worse, they speak to themselves in a way they'd never speak to someone they love. That has to stop. If you want to rewire your mind and build the life you say you want, then it's time to start every morning by speaking to yourself with kindness, clarity, and respect. This one habit alone will shift how you think, how you act, and how you feel, and it costs you nothing but a little courage. Your inner voice shapes how you see yourself, and how you see yourself shapes every decision you make throughout the day. The problem is, most people are completely unaware of how damaging their own self-talk is. They wake up and immediately hear that voice say, "You're behind," or "You're not good enough," or "You can't handle this." And they believe it because they've been hearing it for so long. That voice becomes a habit, and it becomes your identity. You can't move forward with power if your first thought in the morning is self-doubt. Kind self-talk isn't about lying to yourself or pretending life is easy. It's about giving yourself the words you actually need to stay focused, steady, and strong. It's about becoming your own ally instead of your enemy. That's what this habit trains you to do. It trains you to stop starting your day with mental criticism and start building a mental foundation rooted in truth, support, and self-respect. You wake up and your mind is still quiet. That's your moment of power. Right there. Before the noise begins, before the emails, the tasks, the expectations, there's a brief window where your words can shape your state. You can speak calmly. You can speak truthfully. You can say something like, "Today I will give my best," or "I deserve to try again," or "No matter what happens, I will keep going." These aren't empty words, they're instructions to your mind. You're giving your brain a direction. And the direction you give it first thing in the morning becomes your momentum for the day. You don't have to shout it. You don't have to rehearse it like a speech. You just need to say something that strengthens you instead of something that weakens you. If you've been tearing yourself down in your head for years, this might feel strange at first. You might think it's pointless. But the truth is, your brain is always listening. And if it hears the same negative patterns again and again, it will hardwire them. That's why so many people feel stuck. They've programmed themselves to expect failure. Speaking kindly to yourself is how you break that program. Think of how you would speak to a close friend going through a challenge. Would you call them names? Would you tell them they're a disappointment? Of course not. You'd encourage them. You'd tell them they still have a chance. You'd remind them that their effort counts. That's what you need to give yourself. Every morning, not once in a while, not only when you feel good, especially when you don't, especially when life feels heavy. That's when it matters most. The first few minutes of your day set the tone for everything that follows. And if you let the voice of doubt or fear or guilt take over, you're already walking into the world with a weight on your shoulders. But if you choose to speak to yourself with compassion, something changes. Your chest feels lighter. Your breathing becomes more relaxed. You stop bracing yourself for failure. And that shift changes how you respond to the challenges that show up later. You're no longer reacting from fear, you're responding with focus. This habit gives you emotional stability. It gives you internal strength. It creates a relationship with yourself based on trust, not punishment. You can't grow if you're afraid of your own thoughts. You can't lead if your inner world is full of noise and doubt. You can't focus if every morning starts with mental chaos. So you speak to yourself gently but firmly. You speak with respect, because that's how you teach your mind what kind of treatment it deserves. Your past doesn't decide your worth. Your mistakes don't cancel your value. You've made it through things others don't even know about. You've shown up on days when your heart felt heavy. You've kept going when your mind was full of fear. That counts. That's proof of strength. And you need to be the one reminding yourself of that every single morning. Not the world. Not social media. Not anyone else. You. The words you use on yourself shape how you walk, how you think, and how you show up for others. If your tone is harsh, you start closing down. You lose your natural confidence. You stop trusting yourself to try. But when your tone is warm and firm and steady, you begin to open up. You start believing in effort again. You feel a quiet power behind your decisions. You don't need approval. You've already given it to yourself. Kindness is not weakness. It's power in its most grounded form. When you speak kindly to yourself in the morning, you're building a foundation that doesn't crack under stress. You're telling yourself, no matter what happens today, I have my own back. That mindset builds courage. It builds discipline. It builds leadership. And those qualities are what separate people who talk about change from people who make it happen. This habit takes less than 2 minutes. But the impact will ripple through your whole life. You'll notice you start judging yourself less. You'll stop overthinking after making small mistakes. You'll recover faster from setbacks, because you'll be speaking to yourself the way a strong coach would speak to an athlete. Not with coddling, not with cruelty, but with belief and directness. That's the balance. That's the tone, and that's the goal. You don't need to wait until you feel motivated. You just need to start. Say it out loud or say it in your mind. But say something that builds you, something that steadies you, something that reminds you who you are and what you're capable of. That might be as simple as, I will stay calm today, or I've handled worse and I'm still standing, or I am not my fears. I am my actions. Over time, your brain will start repeating those lines throughout the day. They'll become part of your internal dialogue. And when that happens, you'll realize you've trained your mind to be your teammate instead of your opponent. That's the rewiring. That's the power of daily kindness. It doesn't make the world easier. It makes you stronger. You don't need a perfect morning routine. You don't need fancy tools. You need honesty. You need consistency. And you need the discipline to speak to yourself like someone who deserves respect. Because you do. You've come too far to tear yourself down now. Speak like someone who wants to win. Speak like someone who's done pretending. Speak like someone who finally believes that self-respect isn't optional. It's required. You won't always feel strong, but your words can bring you back. You won't always feel ready, but your words can guide you forward. You won't always know what to do, but if your voice is steady and kind, you'll find the next step. That's what creates momentum. That's what builds peace. That's what rewires your mindset at the root. So tomorrow morning and every morning after, before you check your phone, before the world tells you who you should be, before the doubt tries to creep in, take a moment and say something good to yourself. Make it true. Make it simple. Make it yours. And keep doing it until it feels natural, because it will. One morning at a time, one kind word at a time, you will change the way you see yourself. And when that happens, you will change your life. Habit 4. Move your body to build energy and focus. There is one simple action that can shift your entire day, boost your focus, and help you reclaim the energy that might be slipping through your fingers without you even realizing it. It's not about more caffeine or a complicated routine. It's about moving your body. Movement is life. It's the foundation of your energy and the key to unlocking your mental power. If you're feeling sluggish, stuck, or overwhelmed, the answer isn't to push through with willpower alone. The answer is to move. Most people wake up, sit down, and then remain stationary for hours, whether it's sitting at a desk, staring at a screen, or just getting stuck in the cycle of mental fatigue. But when you move your body, you break the cycle. You disrupt the static energy that's built up and create fresh momentum. Your body wasn't designed to sit still all day. It was built to move, to stretch, to bend, to grow. And when you neglect that natural movement, you not only limit your physical potential, but you also limit your mental clarity. Movement brings flow. It clears the fog that clouds your thoughts. When you start your day by moving, you're sending a powerful signal to your brain that you are in charge, that you're here to perform, to be present, and to make things happen. Energy doesn't just come from your diet, your sleep, or your thoughts. It comes from how you move. So, when you feel drained or distracted, take a moment and move your body. This doesn't have to mean an intense workout session. It doesn't have to be anything that exhausts you. It can be a simple stretch, a walk around the block, a few minutes of light cardio. It's not about being perfect. It's about making the decision to break free from stillness. Even just 5 minutes of movement can reset your mind, improve your mood, and help you regain your focus. That quick burst of physical activity increases blood flow to your brain, which enhances cognitive function. It sharpens your focus and helps your mind clear away distractions. Now think about this. How many times have you found yourself feeling mentally foggy or sluggish during the day, and you try to push through it? Maybe you keep telling yourself that you'll snap out of it soon, but it doesn't happen. You keep going in circles, feeling frustrated and unproductive. That's your body's way of telling you that it needs motion. It's your body trying to communicate that it's time for action. Movement is your natural reset button. When you get up and move, even for just a few minutes, you're telling your body and mind that you're not going to sit around waiting for motivation to come to you. You're taking charge of your own energy. Think about it. When you're physically active, you breathe more deeply. Your heart rate increases. You stimulate circulation. All of that sends oxygen to your brain, which makes it easier for you to think clearly. The clearer your thoughts, the more focused you become, and the more focused you become, the more powerful your actions will be. There's no magic in this process. It's just the natural result of moving your body. So why wait? If you want to feel energized and focused, take action and move. Whether it's stretching in the morning, going for a brisk walk, or doing a short workout, every bit of movement helps. You may have heard it said that motion creates emotion. Well, it's true. When you feel stuck, when you feel down, your emotions often mirror your physical state. If you're slouching, hunched over, or sitting for hours on end, your mood tends to mirror that energy. But when you stand tall, when you stretch, when you take a brisk walk or do a few minutes of exercise, your emotional state lifts. You can actually change your mood and shift your mindset simply by moving your body. The more energy you create physically, the more mental energy you create as well. You're not just moving your limbs, you're activating your thoughts. You can use movement as a tool to prime your mind for success. First thing in the morning, instead of diving straight into work, move, get your blood flowing. Get your body engaged. Do some push-ups, jump rope, or even walk for 10 minutes. That simple action shifts your mental state from "I'm tired" to "I'm ready to go." Your focus sharpens, your mood lifts, and you've already gained momentum before you've even started your real work for the day. That energy carries over and helps you power through obstacles with more ease. Movement isn't just important in the morning, though. It's something you should weave throughout your entire day. We're living in a world that celebrates being busy, but being busy doesn't always mean being productive. Sitting at a desk for hours at a time, glued to your screen, is not productive. It's draining. Every hour of stillness is an hour your body and mind are slowly losing energy. The key is not to push through that fatigue, but to embrace movement as part of your routine. If you want to perform at your best, you've got to keep your energy levels high throughout the day. That means standing up, stretching, walking around, or doing a quick burst of exercise every hour or so. You don't have to do a full workout to get the benefits of movement. You just need to get your body active. Try walking while you talk on the phone. Do some jumping jacks between meetings. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. It's these small, consistent actions that add up to big results. And the more you move, the more you'll notice that your focus, clarity, and energy are all heightened. Now you may be thinking, I don't have time for that, but I can tell you that you don't have time to not move. You can't afford to ignore your body's needs and expect your mind to stay sharp. Your body and mind are connected. When one gets drained, the other follows. That's why moving your body regularly is so crucial. If you want to stay sharp, focused and productive, you've got to make movement a non-negotiable part of your routine. It doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming. You don't need an hour at the gym to get the benefits of movement. You can start by setting a timer to remind yourself to move every hour. Stand up, walk around, stretch, jump, whatever works for you. The more you make this a habit, the more you'll feel that shift in your energy and focus. So if you want to rewire your mindset, if you want to increase your energy and boost your productivity, make movement part of your daily life. It's not about hours in the gym, it's about the little consistent movements you do throughout your day. It's about recognizing that your body and mind are connected, and that when you give one the energy it needs, the other follows suit. Remember, your energy doesn't come from your willpower alone, it comes from your body. So move it, make it a priority, not an afterthought. Start your day with movement. Take breaks to move. End your day with movement. Your focus will improve, your productivity will increase, and you'll feel more energized and alive than ever before. Get up, move, and watch everything change. Habit 5. Eat clean foods that keep your mind clear. What you eat directly influences the clarity of your mind. What you put in your body can either cloud your thinking or elevate your focus and energy. You cannot expect to perform at your best, to feel sharp and ready for each challenge, if you're feeding your mind with poor fuel. Your body and your brain are constantly working together, so the way you nourish them matters. If you want to think clearly, stay sharp and be productive, you've got to feed your body clean, whole foods that support your mental clarity. It's not just about avoiding junk food, it's about fueling your mind with the right nutrients that allow it to perform at its peak. So many people wonder why they can't focus, why they feel sluggish, or why their energy crashes mid-afternoon. The answer is simple: the foods you eat matter. When you fill your body with processed foods, sugar, and low-quality ingredients, you're not only sabotaging your physical health, but your mental health as well. When you eat clean, nutrient-dense foods, you give your body and brain the best chance to function at their highest capacity. Clean eating isn't about restriction or dieting, it's about choosing foods that nourish and energize you. It's about making decisions that support your long-term well-being and mental clarity. You don't have to obsess over food, but you do have to be mindful of what goes into your body. And once you start making better choices, you'll see the difference immediately. Your mind will feel sharper. Your focus will improve. Your energy will be more consistent throughout the day. When you eat processed foods, your body has to work harder to digest them. These foods don't provide the right nutrients, and they can cause inflammation and imbalance in your system, leading to brain fog, poor concentration, and low energy. This is why so many people experience that post-lunch slump. They've eaten a heavy meal filled with sugar, refined carbs, and unhealthy fats that leave them feeling sluggish and mentally drained. On the other hand, when you eat clean foods, whole foods, lean proteins, healthy fats, fruits and vegetables, you fuel your body in a way that supports your mind and energy levels. Clean foods give you steady, long-lasting energy. They prevent the spikes and crashes that come from eating processed, sugary foods. They keep your blood sugar stable, which means your energy and focus stay consistent throughout the day. Think about it this way: your body is a machine, and just like any machine, it needs the right fuel to perform at its best. If you put low-quality fuel into your car, it won't run smoothly. It will break down, and eventually it won't function properly. The same goes for your body. When you fill it with foods that don't nourish it, you can't expect to feel sharp, clear-headed, and full of energy. But when you make the choice to feed your body with the right foods, you're giving yourself the best chance to succeed. So what are these clean foods that will keep your mind clear? Let's start with vegetables. Vegetables are loaded with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that help protect your brain and keep it functioning at its peak. Leafy greens, in particular, are packed with nutrients that support brain health. Spinach, kale, and broccoli are just a few examples of the types of vegetables you should make a regular part of your diet. These foods are rich in fiber and low in calories, which means they provide lasting energy without weighing you down. Next, let's talk about healthy fats. Many people are afraid of fat, but the right kind of fats are essential for brain health. Healthy fats, like those found in avocados, olive oil, and fatty fish like salmon, support brain function, reduce inflammation, and help you maintain steady energy levels throughout the day. Your brain is made up of fat, so when you eat healthy fats, You're feeding your brain what it needs to perform at its best. Proteins are another crucial component of a brain-boosting diet. Protein is the building block of neurotransmitters, which are the chemical messengers that help your brain communicate and function. Without adequate protein, your brain can't function at its peak. So make sure you're getting enough lean protein from sources like chicken, turkey, fish, eggs, and plant-based proteins like beans and lentils. These proteins not only support brain health, but also keep you feeling full and satisfied, preventing energy crashes throughout the day. And let's not forget about fruits. Fruits are packed with vitamins, minerals, and fiber that keep your body and mind in top shape. Berries, in particular, are a fantastic choice for brain health. Blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries are rich in antioxidants that protect your brain from oxidative stress and inflammation. They help improve memory and cognitive function, and they provide a natural, steady source of energy throughout the day. When you eat clean, you also avoid the inflammation that comes from processed foods and sugars. Inflammation is one of the primary causes of brain fog and poor concentration. The more processed foods and sugary snacks you eat, the more inflammation you create in your body and brain. But when you choose clean, whole foods, you reduce that inflammation, and your brain is able to function more clearly. You can think more clearly, focus better, and feel more energized. Many people don't realize just how much their diet affects their mood and mental state. It's not just about how you feel physically, it's about how you feel mentally as well. When you eat foods that nourish your body and brain, you'll notice that your mood improves. You'll feel more positive, motivated, and ready to tackle whatever comes your way. On the other hand, when you eat processed foods and sugary snacks, you might find yourself feeling sluggish, irritable, or moody. The foods you eat have a direct impact on your emotions and mindset. It's not just about making one good choice here and there. It's about consistently choosing the right foods that support your mental clarity and energy. It's about making clean eating a habit, something you do every day. Once you start making these healthier choices, you'll notice the difference in how you feel, how you think, and how you perform. Your mind will feel clearer, your focus will improve, and you'll have more energy to tackle whatever comes your way. Clean eating isn't about being perfect or following a rigid diet. It's about being mindful of what you put into your body. It's about making better choices every day so that you can perform at your best. You don't have to cut out all the foods you love, but you do have to make a conscious effort to choose clean, nutrient-dense foods that support your body and mind. So start today. Make the decision to eat clean foods that keep your mind clear, fuel your body with the right nutrients, and watch as your focus, energy, and mental clarity improve. You deserve to feel your best. You deserve to perform at your peak. And the first step in doing that is choosing to feed your body with clean, whole foods that support your mind and energy. Your mind is your most powerful asset, and the fuel you give it matters. Treat it with the respect it deserves. Fuel it with the right foods, and watch as you unlock your full potential. Clean eating is not a temporary change, it's a long-term commitment to your health, your clarity, and your success. When you feed your body and mind with the right foods, you set yourself up for success. You can think more clearly, perform better, and live with more energy and focus. The power to change starts with the choices you make every day. So make the right choice. Choose clean, whole foods that keep your mind clear. Habit 6. Sit in silence and breathe deeply every day. In a world that's constantly moving, always pulling you in different directions and endlessly demanding your attention. There is one simple, powerful practice that can ground you, reset your mind, and allow you to reconnect with yourself. That practice is sitting in silence and breathing deeply every single day. You may think this is a luxury, something reserved for people with a lot of time on their hands. But let me tell you, this is not only something you need, it's something you can't afford to skip. In fact, it's the one thing that can dramatically improve your focus, your clarity, your emotional balance, and your overall well-being. You're not too busy to sit in silence. In fact, you're too busy not to. What does it mean to sit in silence and breathe deeply? It's about creating space for stillness in your life. It's about pressing pause on the chaos and simply being. In that silence, you allow your mind to reset, to let go of the clutter, to breathe in clarity. You create a space where you're not trying to multitask, where you're not thinking about what's next or what just happened, but where you're fully present in the moment. Think about how chaotic your day can get, how many thoughts are racing through your mind, how many things you have to do, how many people are pulling at you for attention. It's exhausting, isn't it? And in the midst of all of that, your mind becomes clouded. You lose focus, you get distracted, and it's harder to make good decisions or take effective action. But when you take just a few minutes each day to sit in silence and breathe deeply, you are doing something incredibly powerful. You are giving yourself the gift of clarity, of calmness, of emotional grounding. Now, don't mistake this practice for laziness or wasting time. In fact, sitting in silence is one of the most productive things you can do. It's about giving your brain the space it needs to function properly, to make better decisions, to reset your emotions, and to replenish your energy. Just like your body needs rest, your mind needs rest. And sitting in silence is the perfect way to give it that rest. Deep breathing, specifically, plays a crucial role in this process. When you take deep, intentional breaths, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your nervous system responsible for rest, relaxation, and recovery. You're giving your body and mind the opportunity to relax, to lower stress, and to release tension. You're telling your body, it's okay to calm down now. It's okay to be still. It's easy to think you don't have time for this, right? Your day is already packed, and adding sitting in silence sounds like something you'll just forget about. But I promise you, if you commit to this practice, even for just 5 minutes each day, you'll see a drastic shift in how you handle stress, how you approach your goals, and how you connect with others. It's not about having more time. It's about prioritizing the time you already have. When you sit in silence, you give your mind the chance to focus, and when your mind is clear, you can make better decisions and take more effective action. This practice isn't about clearing your mind completely. That's not the goal. It's not about forcing yourself into some Zen-like state or trying to empty your mind of every thought. It's about creating a pause in the noise. It's about allowing your thoughts to come and go without getting caught up in them. It's about observing your thoughts without judgment or reaction and simply breathing through them. Here's the thing, your mind is constantly racing. It's trying to solve problems, make plans, anticipate challenges, worry about the future, and replay past events. But in that constant swirl of thoughts, it's easy to lose your sense of clarity. You begin to feel overwhelmed, mentally fatigued, and less effective. This is where the power of sitting in silence comes in. When you take the time to just sit and breathe, you disrupt that constant mental noise. You make space for stillness, and in that stillness, you rediscover your focus, your peace, and your energy. Start by finding a quiet space, somewhere you can be undisturbed for a few minutes. It doesn't have to be a special room or a peaceful retreat. It could be as simple as sitting in your car before you enter your house, or finding a quiet corner in your office. The key is consistency and commitment. It's about making this practice a non-negotiable part of your day, no matter how busy you are. Once you've found your spot, sit comfortably and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale slowly. As you do, feel the tension begin to melt away. Inhale deeply again, this time imagining that with every breath in, you're breathing in calmness, clarity, and focus. With every breath out, you're releasing stress, worry, and distraction. Feel the peace settling into your body with every breath. As you breathe deeply, allow yourself to simply be in the present moment. Your mind will wander. That's normal, but when it does, gently bring it back to your breath. Don't judge yourself for thinking. Just bring your focus back to your breathing. This practice trains your mind to be more present, more focused, and more at peace with whatever is happening in the moment. The more consistently you practice this, the more you'll begin to notice the benefits. You'll find that you're less reactive in stressful situations. You'll be able to handle challenges with more patience and clarity. Your focus will improve because you've taught your mind how to calm down and focus on one thing at a time. You'll feel more grounded and less overwhelmed. And perhaps most importantly, you'll be able to listen to your own inner voice, the one that often gets drowned out by the noise of the world around you. Don't underestimate the power of silence. In a world that's always demanding your attention, where everyone is trying to speak over each other, silence is your weapon. It's your opportunity to tune out the distractions, reset your mind, and reconnect with your true self. When you sit in silence and breathe deeply, you are choosing clarity over chaos, peace over stress, and focus over distraction. This habit doesn't require any special skills or equipment. It doesn't need any complicated techniques. All it takes is your willingness to sit still, breathe deeply, and give yourself the space to reset. And the rewards, they're immeasurable: a clearer mind, a more focused approach to your goals, a better sense of calm, even in the face of challenges, more energy, more patience, more presence. The best part, you don't have to do this for hours at a time. Start small. Even just 5 minutes a day can make a significant difference in how you feel. As you begin to make this a daily habit, you'll realize that it's not only helping you become more focused and productive, it's helping you become more peaceful, more grounded, and more in tune with yourself. So take a deep breath right now. Acknowledge the importance of this moment. Understand that sitting in silence and breathing deeply is one of the most powerful tools you have for resetting your mind and improving your life. In a world that's always pushing you forward, take a moment to step back, sit in silence, breathe deeply, and watch as your life begins to change, one peaceful breath at a time. Habit 7. Write down your goals and read them daily. Your life will never rise above the level of clarity you have about your goals. So if you don't write them down and read them every single day, you are living blind and hoping to hit a target you haven't even defined. Most people walk around with vague desires, uncertain plans, and shifting motivations. They want success, they want to feel better, they want change, but they haven't taken the time to sit down and ask themselves what they actually want and where they are truly going. You can't win at life if you're playing without a scoreboard. You can't grow if you're not measuring anything. And you can't focus if your goals are scattered in your head instead of written down in front of you where you can see them, face them, and chase them. Writing down your goals daily isn't just a motivational exercise, it's an act of self-command. It's a declaration that you are serious about building a life with direction, with purpose, and with intention. It's you saying to the world, and more importantly to yourself, this is where I'm going. This is what I want. This is what I'm committed to creating. There is something deeply psychological about transferring your goals from thought to paper. When you write them, you bring them out of the abstract world and plant them into reality. You give shape to your vision. You give structure to your ambition. Every day you wake up and face distractions. Every day you're hit with other people's agendas, opinions, requests, and urgencies. That's why your goals must be the first voice you hear. Before the noise of the world gets loud, your own vision must speak clearly. When you write your goals, you take control of your mental environment. When you read them, you remind yourself of the life you are building. You tell your brain what to focus on. You give your energy a direction. You make yourself immune to the confusion that plagues the average person. The truth is, if you don't read your goals every day, you forget why you started. You get tired. You settle. You begin to drift. And drifting is the slow death of every dream. The human mind needs repetition to lock onto something. Writing and reading your goals is how you create that repetition. It's how you feed your subconscious mind. It's how you condition yourself to stay locked in when life gets chaotic. Goals that aren't written are just wishes. Goals that are written and reviewed daily become commands to your mind, your body, and your habits. When you do this every single day, something begins to happen. Your behavior starts to align with your vision. Your decisions become sharper. You stop wasting time. You stop chasing things that don't matter. You stop saying yes to things that take you off track. Because now you have a reference point. You have a clear aim. You've made your goals a daily priority. And that changes how you move, how you speak, and how you live. Don't wait until you feel inspired. Don't wait for the perfect morning. Don't wait until your life looks right. Do it now. Do it messy. Write it even if it's not perfect. Read it even when you don't feel like it. That daily repetition will turn chaos into clarity and fear into focus. This is not about motivation. It's about structure. It's about reminding yourself of what matters most every single day until you can't forget it, even if you tried. And don't just write general statements. Be clear, be specific. What do you want to achieve in the next 90 days? What do you want to become by the end of this year? What kind of life do you want to live in the next 5 years? Break your goals down. Write them with detail. Read them slowly, with intention. Feel them. Visualize them. Engage with them. Let them sink into your identity. This daily act of writing and reading creates internal pressure, the good kind, the kind that reminds you you're meant for more, the kind that holds you to a higher standard, the kind that stops you from wasting another day going through the motions. Every time you read your goals, you're confronting your laziness, your doubts, your distractions. You're choosing discipline over comfort. And the more you do this, the stronger you get. Most people set goals once a year, then they forget them. Then they wonder why nothing changes. That's not enough. You need to see them every day. You need to write them until they're written on your heart, until they're no longer goals. They're instructions you follow without hesitation, until they're no longer something you hope to achieve. They're who you are becoming, step by step, day by day. And yes, there will be days when you feel stuck. There will be mornings when you don't feel like writing or reading anything. Those are the days that count the most. Those are the moments when this habit saves you. Because your emotions are unpredictable. Your moods will shift. But your written goals, they stay solid. They are your anchor when your motivation wavers. They are your guide when your mind is foggy. They are your guide when your mind is foggy. They are your compass when life gets loud and confusing. So if you're tired of drifting through your days, if you're frustrated with inconsistency, if you're done with starting and stopping, make this habit non-negotiable. It's simple, it's not flashy, but it's powerful beyond measure. Because the person who reads their goals daily is more likely to act on them. And the person who acts on their goals daily, they win, they improve, they rise, slowly, consistently, and unshakably. You can keep talking about change, you can keep dreaming about it, or you can do something practical that guarantees it. Writing your goals takes a few minutes, reading them takes even less, but the ripple effect it creates in your focus, your decisions, and your results, that lasts a lifetime. This is how you build momentum. This is how you eliminate confusion. This is how you keep your fire alive. By giving your mind a daily target. By choosing clarity over chaos. By reminding yourself every morning of who you're becoming and what you're building. When your goals are on paper, they become promises. When you read them daily, you turn those promises into progress. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about showing up every day and declaring, I know what I want, and I will not forget it. I will not delay it. I will not ignore it. Your goals deserve that kind of energy. Your future demands that kind of clarity. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, lost, or uninspired, don't scroll. Don't complain. Don't distract yourself. Open your notebook. Pick up the pen. Write down what matters. Read it back to yourself. And remind yourself, this is why I wake up. This is why I grind. This is why I keep going. Because this vision, these goals, this life I'm building, it's real, it's mine, and I'm claiming it every single day with my words, my actions, and my mindset. This is how you win. This is how you focus. This is how you become who you were always meant to be. Habit 8. Track your progress to hold yourself accountable. If you never track your progress, you'll never truly understand how far you've come or how much you're holding yourself back. Every day, people start with good intentions. They promise themselves they'll do better. They commit to change. They swear this time will be different. But then the days pass, the weeks blur together, and nothing sticks. Not because they're lazy, not because they're unmotivated, but because they never created a system to measure what they're doing. They never pause to ask, am I actually improving? They never stop to hold themselves accountable. They ran forward blind, hoping for results but avoiding responsibility. That's where everything starts to shift. When you track your progress, you force yourself to face the truth. You create clarity where there used to be confusion. You take back your power from vague feelings and replace it with cold, honest data. And that's exactly what you need if you want to rise. Because without accountability, you will drift. Without tracking, you will deceive yourself. You'll convince yourself you're doing more than you are. You'll inflate your effort, ignore your mistakes, and protect your comfort instead of facing the facts. Tracking is how you get real with yourself. It's how you stay grounded. It's how you make sure you're not wasting time, repeating the same patterns and calling it growth. There is no transformation without self-awareness, and there is no self-awareness without measurement. You can't change what you don't track. You can't improve what you don't monitor. Progress demands proof, and the proof lives in your habits, your behavior, your numbers, your daily actions. This isn't about obsessing over perfection. It's about making sure you're being honest. Because the hardest person to lead is yourself. You can say all the right things. You can feel inspired. You can read all the quotes and listen to all the motivation. But at the end of the day, if you're not holding yourself to a standard, nothing changes. Change isn't a feeling, it's a discipline. And tracking gives your discipline a direction. Start with something simple. How many times a week do you train your body? How many hours do you sleep? How many days in a row have you followed through on the habits you promised yourself? You don't need to make it complicated. You need to make it real. Keep a notebook. Use a whiteboard. Mark it on your calendar. Whatever it takes to bring visibility to your behavior. Because what gets measured gets managed. And what gets managed gets better. People fail not because they don't know what to do, but because they lose focus. They forget their progress. They lose momentum. But when you track it, you build a sense of control. You begin to notice patterns. You see what's working. You see what's not. You stop relying on guesswork and emotion, and you start relying on facts. You stop pretending and start correcting. That's how you grow. That's how you level up. That's how you become relentless. Think of any high performer, any world-class athlete, any elite entrepreneur. They don't just wake up and wing it. They monitor, they reflect, they course correct. They use their data as a mirror to sharpen their edge. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be aware. You need to be deliberate. You need to create feedback loops that tell you whether you're moving forward or just moving in circles. Your mind will lie to you to protect your ego. It'll tell you you've done enough. It'll tell you you're improving when you're just repeating. It'll convince you to celebrate too early or quit too soon. But when you have your progress in front of you, you can't lie to yourself. You can't fake effort. You can't pretend you're doing the work when the numbers say otherwise. That's when you get serious. That's when you stop hiding. That's when you grow up and own your journey. You want to change your life. Track it. You want to build discipline. Measure it. You want to stay consistent. Record it. There is no elite mindset without accountability. There is no sustained focus without reflection. The act of writing it down, checking your performance, and reviewing your progress, it shifts your psychology. It moves you from passive to active, from reactive to intentional, from hopeful to strategic, and it builds confidence. Not the fake kind, not the kind that comes from compliments or hype, but real, earned confidence. The kind that says, I know I'm improving because I have the receipts. The kind that builds trust between you and yourself. That's the kind of confidence that never fades. Because it's not based on emotion, it's based on proof. You don't need to wait until the end of the year to evaluate yourself. You can do it every week, every day. Ask yourself, did I do what I said I'd do? Did I move closer to my goals? Did I live with focus, or did I let comfort win? When you build that level of honesty into your routine, you stop falling off. You stop starting over. You start stacking wins. You start walking with power, because you know you're doing the work, not just thinking about it. Stop giving yourself credit for intentions. Start giving yourself credit for execution. Let your progress become your motivation. Let your streaks fuel your confidence. Let your accountability become your freedom. Because when you track your progress, you free your mind from confusion. You eliminate the need to guess. You remove the need for external validation. You start becoming your own proof. You start becoming undeniable. Your growth is your responsibility. No one is coming to hold you accountable. No one is going to ask if you're keeping your promises. No one is going to check if you're staying consistent. That's your job. That's your standard. That's your integrity. Don't do it for approval. Do it because your future demands it. Do it because your vision deserves it. Do it because you've wasted enough time pretending, and now it's time to perform. Tracking your progress is a small habit that leads to massive change. It's boring. It's simple, but it's powerful Because it brings clarity. It builds self-respect. It sharpens your edge. It makes you dangerous to your old excuses. And most importantly, it keeps you in the game. It keeps you moving forward, even on the hard days, even when you feel tired, even when nothing else feels clear. You don't need a complicated system. You don't need a new app. You need commitment. You need honesty. You need to decide that your progress matters enough to monitor it. You need to believe that your future is worth documenting. Because it is. Because you are. So start now. Write down what you're doing. Track your effort. Review your consistency. Hold yourself to a higher standard than yesterday. Not for perfection, but for precision. Not for validation, but for transformation. Because the person who tracks their journey never loses direction. They always know where they stand. They always know what to do next. And that makes them unstoppable. Habit 9. Cut out one toxic distraction from your life. Every breakthrough you're searching for is hiding behind one distraction you refuse to eliminate. The world isn't short on potential. It's drowning in noise. Every time you reach for your goals, something tugs at your focus. And often, that something is a toxic distraction you've allowed into your life without realizing how much power it's stealing. It could be a habit, a person, a routine, an app, or even a thought pattern that quietly hijacks your clarity. And because it's been there for so long, you don't even question it anymore. You normalize it. You excuse it. You defend it. But deep down, you know it's costing you more than you're willing to admit. You weren't born to be scattered. You were designed to lock in, move with intention, and finish what you start. But you can't build momentum when something toxic keeps interrupting your rhythm. You can't stay consistent when something is always dragging your mind into low energy, low focus territory. One bad distraction, if left unchecked, can turn your strongest efforts into wasted energy. That's the truth most people avoid, because cutting something out feels uncomfortable. It feels like loss. But in reality, it's liberation. When you make the decision to eliminate just one toxic distraction, your entire mental system starts recalibrating. You regain your attention. You restore your sense of urgency. You stop tolerating things that slow you down. You begin moving with clarity and power. But first, you must face the distraction honestly. You must call it what it is, a barrier between you and the person you're trying to become. It could be the social media loop that eats hours of your time, pretending to relax you while it quietly drains your motivation. It could be the phone conversations with people who only want to gossip, complain, or pull you into their drama. It could be your habit of checking notifications the second you wake up instead of grounding your mind. Or maybe it's the clutter in your environment that subtly distracts your thoughts and keeps you in a reactive state. Whatever it is, you already know what needs to go. You've felt the pull of it. You've watched yourself give in to it, even when your inner voice told you to stop. And that's not weakness, it's programming. You've trained your mind to accept distractions as part of your day. But now, you're rewriting that program. Now you're choosing discipline over indulgence. You're choosing growth over comfort. You're choosing clarity over chaos. You don't need to eliminate everything at once. You just need to remove one. Start with one. Watch what happens. Watch how your energy improves. Watch how your decisions sharpen. Watch how your confidence grows. Every time you say no to a distraction, you say yes to a better version of yourself. And the more you repeat that, the more unstoppable you become. Cutting a toxic distraction isn't just about getting more time. It's about gaining back control. It's about refusing to live on autopilot. It's about declaring that your purpose is more important than your temporary urges. Most people live reactive lives. They scroll when they're bored. They eat when they're stressed. They procrastinate when things get hard. But the ones who win are the ones who recognize the trap and rise above it. This is your reminder that nothing great was ever built in distraction. No legacy was created by someone who kept checking their phone every 5 minutes. No strong mind was formed by someone who stayed addicted to noise. Greatness is forged in the moments of quiet focus, where the world fades and your purpose comes alive. And to reach that place, you must make space for it. You must remove what doesn't belong. Your success will come down to what you're willing to subtract. People love adding. They chase new routines, new goals, new strategies. But the real growth happens when you cut. When you strip away what doesn't serve you. When you get brutally honest and say, "This thing is keeping me weak, and I won't tolerate it anymore." That's where transformation begins, not in the addition, but in the elimination. And don't just remove the distraction, replace it with something that empowers you. If you cut out the hour you spend scrolling at night, use that hour to journal, stretch, read, or build something that matters. If you cut out conversations that drain you, spend that time with your own thoughts, planning your future, designing your life. Every gap left by a distraction is a doorway to growth. You decide what fills that space. This decision will test you. The toxic distraction is addictive. It's familiar. It gives you comfort, even if it costs you clarity. So expect resistance, expect withdrawal, but push through it. Because on the other side is momentum. On the other side is the focus you've been trying to find. On the other side is your discipline, your ambition, your edge. You have a limited amount of attention every day. Where it goes determines who you become. If you keep feeding the wrong things, you keep becoming the wrong version of yourself. But if you redirect that attention, if you defend it like your life depends on it, because it does, you'll notice something powerful. You'll start to move faster. You'll start to think clearer. You'll feel more in control, more intentional, more alive. This is your time to upgrade your environment. Upgrade your habits. Upgrade your attention. But to do that, you must downgrade your tolerance for distraction. You must eliminate the one thing that keeps pulling you backward, even if it's subtle. Even if it doesn't seem like a big deal. Because a little leak will sink a great ship if you don't patch it up. You are the gatekeeper of your mind. What you allow in becomes who you are. Protect your focus like it's sacred, because it is. Protect your energy like your future depends on it, because it does. The more you eliminate what weakens you, the stronger you become without even trying. That's the paradox. You don't need more. You need less but better. So take a moment and look around. Look at your routines. Look at your habits. Look at the way you spend your attention. Be ruthless. Be honest. Find one toxic distraction. Just one. Then cut it out. Replace it with something that lifts you. Track the shift. Feel the difference. And once you've mastered that, find the next one. And keep going. Your clarity is waiting behind the noise. Your power is hiding under your distractions. Your next level doesn't require more information. It requires less interference. Let go of what numbs your mind and weakens your will. Reclaim your hours. Reclaim your strength. Reclaim your identity. There's a version of you who's locked in, focused, consistent, and powerful. But that version cannot exist in a life full of toxic distractions. So free yourself. Create space. Choose intention over impulse, and build a life that aligns with who you truly are. not who the distractions have made you. Every time you remove one toxic distraction, you create more room for the real you to breathe. Keep cutting, keep growing, keep rising. Your future self will thank you for every single thing you had the courage to eliminate. Habit 10. Take full responsibility for every choice you make. No one is coming to save you, because the power you need is already in your hands. There's a point in life when you must stop pointing fingers, stop blaming your past, stop making excuses, and face the truth. You are where you are because of the choices you've made. That's not meant to hurt you. It's meant to wake you up. Because the second you accept that you are fully responsible for your decisions, everything changes. You take back your power. You take back your direction. And most importantly, you take back control of your future. People spend years waiting for a sign, for motivation, for better circumstances, for someone to understand them. But waiting is just a way to delay responsibility. And the longer you delay it, the further you drift from the life you want. You weren't designed to drift. You were built to decide. You weren't made to live by default. You were meant to live by design. But none of that happens if you keep handing off the wheel to your excuses. Every single day you make hundreds of choices. What time you wake up, how you respond to challenges, whether you show up for yourself or not, whether you train or stay comfortable, whether you build or scroll, whether you speak with intention or stay silent, whether you step into growth or fall back into habit. Most people never realize how powerful these choices are because they're small. But your life is just a sum of small decisions compounded over time. You don't just wake up successful. You don't just stumble into discipline. You build it by consistently owning your actions. Responsibility is not about being perfect. It's not about pretending you have it all together. It's about being honest enough to say, this is on me, and I have what it takes to fix it. When you start thinking like that, your problems stop owning you. You stop giving your power to circumstances, to people, to the past. You reclaim your ability to shift the direction of your life, no matter where you're starting from. It doesn't matter what they said about you. It doesn't matter what didn't work. It doesn't matter who let you down. It doesn't matter how unfair life has felt. You're here now. You're alive. You're breathing, and that means the power to decide is still yours. You can choose to carry the weight of resentment, or you can choose to rise above it. You can choose to live in the shadows of regret, or you can step into the light of responsibility. Most people live stuck because they avoid responsibility. They think freedom means doing whatever you want. But real freedom only comes from responsibility. Because when you take full ownership of your life, you free yourself from dependency. You stop waiting for external solutions. You stop hoping things will fix themselves. You start building. You start leading. You start becoming someone who can be trusted, not just by others but by yourself. Responsibility is not a burden. It's a privilege. It's the highest form of self-respect. It's saying, I won't leave my growth in anyone else's hands. I won't blame the world for what I refuse to change. I won't talk about what I could have done. I'll do it now. That's power. That's leadership. That's how you change your life, by changing the way you respond to life. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you are always in control of how you react, how you adapt, and how you move forward. That's what separates winners from victims. That's what separates growth from stagnation. That's what separates clarity from chaos. The minute you stop playing the blame game and start playing the ownership game, you unlock your next level. Some people hear the word responsibility and think it sounds harsh, But it's the most empowering word in the world, because it tells you that you don't have to wait for anyone. It tells you that everything you need to grow is already within you. It reminds you that you're not helpless. You're powerful. You don't need someone to give you permission. You just need to give yourself direction. Look at your life. Every area, your health, your mindset, your discipline, your environment, your relationships, your money, it all reflects your level of responsibility. When something's off, it's not about guilt, it's about ownership. Ask yourself, what am I allowing? What have I been tolerating? What decision am I avoiding? Then do the hard thing. Make the shift, because no change happens without accountability. People love talking about goals, ambition and success, but very few want to talk about the cost. And the cost is responsibility. The cost is doing the work. The cost is showing up even when you don't feel like it. The cost is taking full ownership, even when it would be easier to blame. But those who pay the price get the reward, and those who avoid it stay stuck. No one will force you to rise. No one will drag you toward your potential. You must choose it. You must be the one to say, I'm done blaming. I'm done waiting. I'm done hiding. I'm taking full control of my life from this moment forward. And you must say it not once, but every single day, because responsibility is not a one-time decision. It's a lifestyle. It shows up in how you wake up, in how you speak to yourself, in what you consume, in how you treat others, in the habits you keep, in the standards you set, in the boundaries you enforce, in the way you face adversity, in the way you correct your mistakes, in the way you forgive yourself and keep moving forward. This is how you lead your life, not by being perfect, but by being responsible. You want peace? Take responsibility. You want results? Take responsibility. You want momentum? Take responsibility. Stop outsourcing your life to excuses. Stop pretending you don't have a choice. You always have a choice. Even when things are hard, even when life feels unfair, you still get to choose how you show up. And that choice, that sacred, powerful choice, is everything. People will disappoint you. Circumstances will change. Plans will fall apart. But your response, that's yours, always. And when you master that, you become unshakable. Because now you're no longer controlled by what happens to you. You're defined by how you respond. And no one can take that away from you. This is the truth most people don't want to hear. They want the reward without the responsibility. But that's not how transformation works. Growth isn't given, it's earned. And it's earned by those who are willing to own their path fully. No more hiding. No more blaming. No more playing small. The life you want is built through responsible choices, stacked one on top of the other. Start today. Decide right now that no matter what happens, you will own it. You will face it. You will grow through it. You will never again hand off your power to fear, to others, or to your past. This is your time to become the person who doesn't run, who doesn't fold, who doesn't make excuses. This is your time to become the kind of person you admire. The kind of person who stands tall in the middle of chaos and says, I've got this. And you do. You've got this. You've always had it. You just forgot because you were told life happens to you. But now you know it happens through you. And the more responsibility you take, the more powerful you become. So wake up tomorrow and own it. Own your thoughts. Own your reactions. Own your time. Own your discipline. Own your dreams. Own your actions. Own your outcomes. Because when you do, you're no longer a passenger. You become the driver. And that's when life starts moving in the direction you've always wanted. Habit 11. Say no to anything that drains your energy. Your energy is your life force. If you don't protect it, you will spend your whole life giving it away to things that leave you empty. You don't need to do more. You need to do less of what drains you. Life isn't about adding, it's about removing. The stronger you become, the clearer you see that everything doesn't deserve your time. Every invitation doesn't require a yes. Every person doesn't deserve access to your mind. Every opportunity isn't meant for you. The secret to staying focused, powerful, and clear is saying no more often. Not out of rudeness, but out of respect for yourself, for your mission, and for your future. People who achieve extraordinary results don't get there by chance. They got there by cutting out everything that weakens their energy, distracts their attention, or clouds their clarity. They protect their peace like it's their last breath. Because when your energy is high, your mind is sharp. When your energy is stable, your vision is strong. When your energy is yours, not scattered across 100 draining commitments, you become unstoppable. But you don't get there by pleasing people. You don't get there by saying yes when your gut screams no. You get there by creating space. You get there by clearing the noise. You get there by stepping back from the nonsense that used to keep you stuck. If something constantly leaves you tired, frustrated, confused, or disrespected, it's not a coincidence, it's a sign. It's showing you that you're pouring yourself into something that does not pour back. And here's the truth. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. If you keep saying yes out of guilt, they will keep expecting it. If you keep showing up for people who never show up for you, they will keep taking. If you keep overcommitting just to avoid conflict, you will silently burn out while everyone else stays comfortable. That's not selflessness. It's self-neglect. You must learn the power of boundaries. Not as a wall to keep people out, but as a filter to protect your energy. You don't need to attend every event, reply to every message instantly, accept every request, or give your time to people who disrespect it. Protecting your energy means prioritizing your well-being over your reputation. It means choosing yourself, even when others don't understand. Because your peace is not up for negotiation. You don't owe explanations for taking care of yourself. You don't have to justify saying no. You don't have to apologize for being unavailable to drama, to toxicity, to fake friendships, to shallow conversations, to environments that pull you away from who you're becoming. You are not cold for walking away from what drains you. You are not rude for choosing your focus. You are not selfish for valuing your time, your space, your mission. High performers say no more than they say yes. Not because they're arrogant, but because they know their energy is limited, and they refuse to waste it. Every yes is a trade. When you say yes to one thing, you are saying no to something else. So every yes must be earned. Every yes must align with your goals. Every yes must be intentional. Otherwise your life will fill up with noise, with chaos, with clutter, and your mission will drown in distractions disguised as obligations. It's time to get clear about what drains you. The endless scrolling, the toxic conversations, the people who only call when they need something, the meetings that go nowhere, the environments where you feel small, the habits that pull you away from your purpose, the unnecessary drama that keeps you distracted. All of it has a cost, and the cost is your energy. The cost is your ability to show up fully where it truly matters. When your energy is low, your standards drop, your focus weakens, your consistency fades. You become reactive instead of intentional. You become overwhelmed instead of empowered. That's why protecting your energy isn't optional. It's essential. Your dreams demand it. Your purpose requires it. Your future depends on it. You don't need to explain why you're unavailable. You don't need to convince anyone that your peace matters. If someone gets upset because you set a boundary, that's a sign they were benefiting from your lack of one. Let them go. If something always leaves you depleted, walk away. If a habit always steals your momentum, replace it. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being aligned. This is about honoring your energy as the foundation of everything you build. Make this your new standard. If it costs you your energy, it's too expensive. If it drains your focus, it's not worth it. If it pulls you away from your discipline, it's not for you. You don't need to fear missing out. You need to fear burning out. You need to fear living a life that looks full but feels empty. You need to fear giving your best energy to things that don't move you forward. When you finally start saying no, you reclaim your time. You reclaim your mind. You reclaim your power. You stop chasing approval and start choosing alignment. You stop tolerating chaos and start creating clarity. You stop settling for crumbs of attention and start demanding real respect from yourself first, then from everyone else. Your life is yours to lead, but you can't lead it if your energy is constantly under attack. You can't lead it if you're always exhausted. You can't lead it if you keep saying yes, just to keep the peace outside while destroying the peace inside. True strength is not found in how much you endure, it's found in what you no longer accept. You deserve to feel clear. You deserve to feel strong. You deserve to wake up with energy, with purpose, with drive. But that won't happen unless you remove what's draining you. You won't rise by carrying what's weighing you down. You won't fly if you're always tethered to what you've outgrown. So get serious about your energy. Audit your habits. Audit your conversations. Audit your environment. What lifts you? What weakens you? What brings you alive? What kills your spirit? Be honest, then act accordingly. Your future is too important to keep compromising. Your mission is too serious to keep entertaining nonsense. Your potential is too great to keep giving it away to things that don't matter. Say no to anything that leaves you feeling smaller. Say no to anything that leaves you second-guessing yourself. Say no to anything that hijacks your focus. Say no to anything that poisons your peace. You don't need to fight everything. Sometimes the most powerful move is simply walking away. Not to escape, but to elevate. Not to avoid conflict, but to choose clarity. Not to run from discomfort, but to run toward purpose. Your energy is sacred. Protect it like your life depends on it. Because it does. The stronger your energy, the more unstoppable you become. And the more you protect your energy, the more powerful your presence becomes. People will feel it. Your environment will reflect it. And your results will confirm it. This is your moment to choose differently. To stop tolerating what drains you. To stop settling for what no longer fits. To stop compromising your peace just to maintain appearances. Let go of what weakens you. Let go of what distracts you. Let go of what doesn't align. Your energy is the most valuable currency you have. Invest it wisely. Habit 12. Surround yourself with people who lift you up. You become like the people you spend your time with. If you're around those who lift you up, who challenge you to be better, and who believe in your potential, even when you doubt yourself, you'll grow beyond your imagination. But if you surround yourself with negativity, with those who criticize and pull you down, you will start to shrink. You have the power to control your environment, and it's time to realize that who you spend your time with is one of the most important decisions you'll make on your journey to success. There is no growth in an environment that stifles your potential. Surrounding yourself with the right people is not just a strategy, it's a mindset shift. When you're constantly around people who are motivated, ambitious, and growth-minded, you begin to absorb their energy. You begin to see the world through their lens, a lens that looks at obstacles as opportunities, failure as a lesson, and success as inevitable if you work hard enough. This isn't about eliminating everyone from your life who isn't perfect. No one's perfect, and everyone has their challenges. What it is about is being deliberate with who you allow to influence you. It's about curating your circle so that your energy is being consistently elevated, so that your mindset is being sharpened, and so that your vision is aligned with those who see the best version of you and want you to become it. When you spend time with people who are committed to growth, you naturally elevate yourself. You see what's possible, and that will inspire you to take action in ways you never imagined. Success is contagious, and so is failure. But you get to choose which one you want to catch. This doesn't mean you have to have 1,000,000 people around you, nor does it mean you need to be surrounded by perfection. But you do need people who believe in possibilities and who push you to grow. You need people who will hold you accountable, not just people who tell you what you want to hear, but people who will challenge you, who will ask you the tough questions, who will be there when you succeed, and who will show up when you fall. The relationships you nurture should inspire and empower you to rise higher. They should build you up, not tear you down. Life is too short to spend it with those who are stuck in negativity or who don't understand your dreams. If you're surrounded by people who are focused on the small, petty, or trivial things, it's almost impossible to keep your vision clear and your energy strong. This is why choosing your circle is essential. Think about it. Who are the people you talk to the most? Who do you turn to when you have a challenge? Who do you celebrate with when you win? If those people are lifting you up, encouraging your growth, and supporting your goals, then you're on the right track. If they're draining your energy or dismissing your dreams, it's time to reconsider the time you invest with them. But here's the thing, you also need to be the type of person who lifts others up. It's not just about what you get from your relationships, but also about what you give. Relationships are a two-way street. If you want to be surrounded by people who lift you up, you have to be someone who lifts others up too. Elevate the people around you with your actions, your words, your encouragement, and your support. Be the person who brings positivity, who brings solutions, who brings energy. The law of reciprocity will take care of the rest. However, surrounding yourself with people who lift you up doesn't mean that every moment will be a high. You will still face challenges, you will still have setbacks, but you'll face them with the strength and the mindset to keep pushing forward. People who lift you up don't just cheer you on when things are easy, they stand by you when you're in the trenches, when you're fighting your own battles, when it feels like the world is against you. They are there not just for the celebrations, but also for the storms. They help you get back on your feet when you fall, and they remind you of who you are when you start to forget. This is what makes them irreplaceable. This is the kind of support you need to thrive. Start auditing your relationships. Who are the people you spend the most time with? Who are you allowing into your life? Are they supporting you or are they holding you back? Sometimes it's not even about cutting people out of your life entirely, but just about creating space. You don't have to abandon relationships that drain you completely, but you can choose to spend less time with them. It's about balance, about knowing where to invest your energy. Now let's be clear. Surrounding yourself with people who lift you up isn't about seeking approval or being around people who only tell you what you want to hear. It's about being in the presence of individuals who see your potential, who encourage your growth, and who challenge you to push beyond your comfort zone. It's about finding people who are unafraid to tell you the truth, even when it's hard to hear, because they know that's what will help you grow. Be aware of the people who drain your energy. These people aren't always malicious, but they might be stuck in their own negativity, their own fears, or their own insecurities. They may not even know how much they affect you, but their energy will wear you down if you're not careful. Don't mistake a toxic relationship for loyalty. True loyalty doesn't require you to sacrifice your well-being. True loyalty means pushing each other to become better, stronger, and more aligned with your true potential. What you surround yourself with will ultimately determine your level of success. Success isn't just about hard work and determination. It's about being around the right people who push you to keep going when things get tough. It's about being around people who see the potential in you even when you can't see it in yourself. The right people don't let you settle for mediocrity. They push you toward excellence. They challenge you to become better, to reach higher, and to keep moving forward. It's important to remember that you don't need a large group of people. You just need a few solid people who are aligned with your vision, who believe in you and who will encourage you every step of the way. The quality of your circle matters far more than the quantity. You don't need to be around hundreds of people. You need to be around the right ones. The people who lift you up will make you believe in yourself when your confidence is low. They will remind you of your strengths when you doubt them. They will challenge you to get up when you fall, to keep going when you want to quit, and to aim higher when you settle for less. They will help you rise higher than you could ever rise on your own. Now ask yourself, are the people around you helping you grow, or are they pulling you down? It's time to evaluate your relationships, to weed out the toxic ones, and to fill your life with people who add value, who inspire you, and who help you become the best version of yourself. Your future depends on it. Your success is not just about your talent, your work ethic, or your vision. It's about the people you surround yourself with. Choose wisely, protect your energy, and elevate your circle. When you do, you will find that the impossible becomes possible, the dreams become reality, and you start living the life you were meant to live. Habit 13. Read 10 pages of a life-changing book daily. The difference between where you are today and where you want to be is the knowledge you're willing to seek out and apply. Every single successful person shares one common habit. They read. Not just to pass time or for entertainment, but to transform their lives. They read to learn, to grow, and to discover new perspectives. Reading 10 pages of a life-changing book every day isn't just a task, it's a ritual, a commitment to making yourself better, smarter, and more capable. 10 pages may sound small, but when done consistently, it compounds over time in ways you can't even begin to imagine. That's the magic of reading daily. It's not about reading for speed or quantity, it's about reading with purpose, taking in the wisdom and allowing it to shift the way you think and act. One of the greatest advantages of reading every day is that it's a habit that fits into any lifestyle. Whether you're a busy professional, a student, or someone juggling multiple responsibilities, finding time to read 10 pages isn't hard. It takes just a few minutes, less time than most people spend on their social media feeds or scrolling through irrelevant news. Imagine what would happen if instead of wasting time, you dedicated just 10 pages to improving your mind. The power of reading lies not just in the information, but in how it changes your perspective. Books expose you to ideas and experiences that you might never encounter in your daily life. They give you tools to solve problems you've never faced before, and they open doors to new ways of thinking. The best books are like conversations with the smartest people in the world. They challenge your beliefs, push you beyond your limits, and motivate you to take action. But the key is consistency. It's not about reading one life-changing book once and hoping it will change everything. It's about making reading a part of your routine, a daily habit that you return to, day after day, week after week, month after month. The wisdom you gain from one book isn't meant to stay locked between its pages. It's meant to be lived, applied, and shared. By making reading a habit, you're constantly filling your mind with the tools you need to succeed. As you read, you'll encounter ideas that challenge your current thinking. Some of them may feel uncomfortable at first, but it's in those moments of discomfort that growth happens. Your mind is stretching, expanding, and adapting to new knowledge. It's how you develop the mindset of a leader, an innovator, or a creator, by continually exposing yourself to new concepts that force you to think differently. What's important to understand is that reading daily isn't just about gathering knowledge. It's about applying that knowledge. It's about taking what you read and using it to change the way you approach your goals, your relationships, and your challenges. The more you read, the more your mind becomes a tool for problem solving. You begin to see solutions where others see obstacles, and you start to make decisions with a clearer, more informed perspective. Reading also helps you develop resilience. The more you learn, the more you can handle adversity. Life will throw curveballs at you, but the more books you read, the more strategies you'll have to overcome challenges. You'll learn about people who have faced worse struggles than you and have come out victorious on the other side. You'll learn how to navigate the tough times, how to push through setbacks, and how to stay focused on your goals no matter what. Books are powerful guides that show you that no matter where you start, you can always rise higher. You don't have to pick the longest, most difficult books to make progress. In fact, it's often better to read books that are actionable, that give you practical insights and strategies you can implement right away. The goal isn't to accumulate a collection of unread books, but to read those that are life-changing, books that offer wisdom that will make a real difference in your life. Another powerful thing about reading 10 pages every day is that it's a habit that pays compound interest. The more you read, the more your understanding grows. 10 pages may seem like a small amount, but over time it adds up. In a year, you'll have read over 3,650 pages, which could be anywhere from 10 to 20 books, depending on the type of books you're reading. Imagine the wealth of knowledge you would accumulate over several years of consistent reading. That kind of sustained learning is what separates those who achieve extraordinary success from those who remain stagnant. Now, let's talk about the books you choose. Life-changing books don't just belong to the self-help genre. Books on leadership, business, psychology, history, philosophy, and personal finance can all be transformative. The key is to choose books that expand your mind and give you practical, actionable ideas. Look for books that make you reflect, that make you question the status quo, and that inspire you to take action. If you don't know where to start, think about the areas of your life you want to improve. Are you trying to become a better leader? Pick up books on leadership. Want to master your finances? Read personal finance books. Interested in understanding human behavior? Read psychology books. The possibilities are endless, and the more you learn, the more you realize there's always more to know. Remember that reading isn't about speed, it's about quality. Some days, 10 pages might take you only 10 minutes. Other days, those same 10 pages might take an hour because you're reflecting on what you read, writing notes or applying it to your life. That's okay. The important part is the consistency and the commitment to reading every single day. The impact of reading daily compounds over time. Even if you don't feel like you're learning something huge every day, the habit itself is powerful. One of the most profound effects of reading every day is how it helps to develop a growth mindset. When you make the habit of reading part of your routine, you stop seeing yourself as someone who already knows everything. You start to see yourself as a lifelong learner, always hungry for new ideas and new knowledge. This mindset shift is one of the most valuable assets you can possess, as it keeps you open to new opportunities and ideas, and it drives you to constantly improve. The wisdom you gain from reading extends beyond just knowledge. It shapes your character, your decisions, and your ability to influence others. As you read about people who have achieved great things or overcome difficult circumstances, you begin to see yourself in those stories. You begin to believe that if they can do it, so can you. Books are filled with examples of people who started with nothing but their minds and determination and built empires, solved impossible problems, and changed the world. They show you what's possible when you refuse to accept mediocrity and instead commit to growth. Reading 10 pages a day is a simple habit, but its effects are far-reaching. Every day, you are investing in yourself. You're sharpening your mind, expanding your knowledge, and preparing yourself for greater success. You're not just consuming information, you're transforming your mind and your life. You're developing the habits and mindset of someone who is always striving for more, always reaching for higher goals. So start today. Read those 10 pages and let them lead you to greater heights. Every page is an investment in your future. Don't wait until tomorrow. Take that first step right now. Habit 14. Practice gratitude before you go to sleep. The greatest key to unlocking your potential is the practice of gratitude. Imagine closing your eyes each night and reflecting on the blessings in your life, not just the big ones, but also the small, often overlooked moments. Gratitude is a force, a mindset that transforms the way you approach the world. It's the fuel for your soul, and when practiced daily, it has the power to shift your entire perspective. Every day is filled with moments worth being thankful for, yet many of us go to sleep without reflecting on them. This habit, to take a moment before sleep to acknowledge what you're grateful for, is life-changing. You might not realize it, but what you focus on before sleep heavily influences how you wake up and the mindset you carry throughout the following day. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools we have to reset our minds. Too often, we focus on what's wrong in our lives, the problems, the challenges, the setbacks. But when you make gratitude a daily practice, you shift your focus. Your brain begins to look for things to appreciate, for beauty, for progress, even in the most challenging circumstances. Think about how many times your mind races at night. Thoughts and worries swirl, and it can feel impossible to find peace. The habit of gratitude before sleep gives you a calming focus. When you make it a point to acknowledge the good in your life before bed, you enter a state of peace, clarity, and positivity that carries you through the night and into your next day. Gratitude is a simple but profound practice. It doesn't require complex rituals or a lot of time. You don't need to write an entire journal or make lists of 100 things. Start small. As you lie in bed, close your eyes and simply ask yourself, what am I grateful for today? It could be something as simple as a good meal, a conversation with a friend, the roof over your head, or your health. The more specific you can be, the more powerful it becomes. The power of gratitude is in the detail. It's not enough to say, "I'm thankful for my family." Think about the specific moment that made you smile, the conversation that touched your heart. In these moments of reflection, you create a positive emotional anchor. Your brain learns that it's safe to focus on the good, and over time this rewires your thought patterns. Instead of feeling overwhelmed or anxious as you drift off to sleep, you feel peaceful, fulfilled, and open to what tomorrow will bring. The impact of this habit on your mental and emotional health cannot be overstated. Gratitude works like a filter for your thoughts, helping you find the silver lining in difficult situations. When you're faced with challenges, instead of spiraling into negativity, you'll find yourself more resilient. You'll start asking, "What can I learn from this? What can I be grateful for in this situation?" Gratitude opens your eyes to the lessons hidden in hardship. You might wonder how this practice affects your physical well-being. Well, it's all connected. When you go to bed with a grateful heart, your body relaxes, stress levels decrease, and your mind prepares for a restful, restorative night's sleep. The result? You wake up feeling energized, refreshed, and ready to take on the day. The power of gratitude is cumulative. The more you practice it, the more your brain becomes wired to focus on the positive. Your mindset shifts from one of scarcity and lack to one of abundance and possibility. When you start the day with a grateful mindset, it's easier to attract more things to be grateful for. The universe, or life, or whatever you believe in, starts to reflect that energy back to you. You begin to attract more of what you want and less of what you don't. Another powerful aspect of practicing gratitude before sleep is its ability to help you reset your emotional state. We live in a world that's full of distractions, negativity, and stress, and it's easy to get caught up in all of it. But when you take a moment before bed to reflect on the positive, you begin to create an emotional boundary. You set aside the negativity of the day and create a space for calm, contentment, and peace. The result is that you become less susceptible to the stresses and challenges of daily life. The weight of the world won't feel as heavy on your shoulders because you've learned to see the blessings in every moment. The beauty of this practice is that it's simple, but not easy. It takes effort and consistency, but the rewards are unparalleled. Gratitude isn't a magical solution that makes all your problems disappear, but it does shift your perspective. It helps you see what you have, not what you don't, and this subtle shift in thinking can be the difference between feeling stuck and feeling empowered. By cultivating a habit of gratitude, you begin to develop an internal compass that guides you toward a more fulfilling and purposeful life. When you're constantly aware of what you're grateful for, you're less likely to fall into the trap of negative thinking. You begin to see obstacles as opportunities for growth and setbacks as stepping stones. Your emotional resilience increases, and with it your ability to handle life's challenges. Think about how much energy you've wasted in your life dwelling on what went wrong. How many hours, days, or weeks have you spent worrying about things that you couldn't change? Practicing gratitude is like flipping the switch on that kind of thinking. Instead of getting stuck in the negative cycle, you break free and shift your focus to what's working. It's important to note that gratitude is not about ignoring the struggles or pretending everything is perfect. It's not about denying your feelings or pretending that life is always sunshine and rainbows. It's about recognizing that even in the midst of struggle, there are things to be thankful for. Even in the hardest times, there are lessons to learn, people to appreciate, and moments of beauty to cherish. As you practice gratitude before sleep, you begin to realize that life isn't just about getting through the day. It's about learning to savor every moment, finding joy in the little things, and appreciating the journey as much as the destination. Gratitude helps you slow down and see the richness of life, even in its simplest forms. This practice is also incredibly powerful for improving your relationships. When you express gratitude for the people in your life, you strengthen those bonds. You start to see them in a more positive light, and in turn they feel appreciated. Gratitude creates a cycle of positivity that benefits everyone involved. It's a reminder that even when people frustrate or challenge you, they are still a source of support, growth and love. Over time, the practice of gratitude before sleep becomes a habit that shifts your entire worldview. No longer will you be a passive observer of your life. Instead, you become an active participant, choosing daily to focus on the positive and to appreciate everything you have. The more you practice this habit, the more it becomes ingrained in your DNA. Gratitude becomes part of who you are, and as a result, your entire life shifts. As you begin to end each day with gratitude, take a moment to reflect on your growth. Notice how your mindset begins to change. Notice how your stress levels begin to drop. Notice how the small things that once annoyed you or seemed insignificant now fill you with appreciation. Your perspective will shift from scarcity to abundance, from negativity to positivity, and from dissatisfaction to fulfillment. So tonight, before you close your eyes, take a deep breath, reflect on what you're grateful for, and allow that gratitude to wash over you. Let it fill your heart and your mind with peace, joy, and satisfaction. Tomorrow is a new day, and when you wake up, you'll be ready to embrace it with a positive, grateful mindset. This is the power of gratitude. Take it with you into the night, and it will guide you through every day of your life. Habit 15. Push through discomfort instead of avoiding it. The greatest obstacle standing between you and the life you want is not the world outside, but the fear and discomfort inside. It's the resistance you feel when faced with challenges, the urge to back down, the temptation to avoid discomfort. But here's the hard truth. Growth never happens in comfort zones. Real transformation, the kind that changes everything, begins when you push through discomfort, not when you run from it. Every time you encounter discomfort, you're presented with a choice. You can either shrink back and let it control you, or you can step forward and use it as fuel. This is where the magic happens, when you decide to face discomfort head-on instead of sidestepping it. The discomfort you avoid today will only get bigger tomorrow, so it's time to face it now. And when you do, you break through barriers that once seemed impossible to cross. Look, life will always present discomfort in some form. Whether it's the discomfort of working late on a project, the discomfort of pushing your body during a workout, or the discomfort of facing your own fears and insecurities, it's there. But what if you stopped running from it? What if you embraced it? What if you learned to love the discomfort, knowing that it's a sign of progress? When you push through discomfort, you take control, you reclaim your power. You decide that the discomfort will not dictate your actions or your life. Instead, you decide that you will use that discomfort as a tool to propel yourself forward, to become stronger, smarter, and more capable. The only way to truly grow is by challenging yourself to move through what feels hard and unfamiliar. It's easy to convince yourself that comfort is the goal, but that's a lie. The goal is growth, and growth only comes when you step into the unknown. Think about the moments in your life when you've grown the most. Was it when you were sitting back, relaxed and comfortable, or was it when you were pushing yourself, working through the discomfort, facing challenges that seemed insurmountable? The most rewarding experiences of your life are on the other side of discomfort. Every successful person you admire has a story of overcoming discomfort, whether they're athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, or everyday people who decided to take control of their lives. They all had to go through a period of discomfort, but they didn't run from it. They leaned into it. They used it to build resilience, to sharpen their focus, and to keep pushing toward their goals. And that's what you must do too. We all have moments where we want to give up, where the discomfort seems too much to bear. But that's when the most important work is being done. Think about a muscle. It only grows stronger when it's pushed to its limit. The same is true for your mind, your body, and your spirit. When you push through discomfort, you're developing mental toughness, emotional strength, and physical endurance. These are the qualities that allow you to thrive in any situation, no matter how challenging. If you continue to avoid discomfort, you're choosing stagnation. You're choosing a life of mediocrity, where nothing ever changes, where you never reach your full potential. But if you choose to push through, even when it feels uncomfortable, you're choosing growth. You're choosing to become the person you've always wanted to be, the person capable of handling anything that life throws your way. It's not about avoiding the tough moments. It's about facing them with the determination to rise above them. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to be perfect. All you need is the courage to step forward in the face of discomfort and keep going, one step at a time. One of the keys to pushing through discomfort is reframing how you see it. Instead of seeing discomfort as a signal to stop, start seeing it as a sign that you're on the right track. Discomfort means you're growing. It means you're doing something that matters. When you face discomfort, you're on the verge of a breakthrough. It's the growing pains of progress. And every time you push through it, you get a little stronger, a little wiser, a little closer to your goals. The most successful people in the world have developed the ability to turn discomfort into opportunity. They've learned to embrace the struggle, to see it as a necessary part of their journey. They understand that without discomfort, there's no growth. They understand that every challenge is an opportunity to get better, to become stronger, and to learn more about themselves. So what does it take to push through discomfort? First, it takes commitment. You have to be committed to the process, no matter how tough it gets. You have to commit to showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's hard. The discomfort is temporary, but the results last forever. Keep your eyes on the bigger picture and remember why you started. That vision of who you want to become will help you push through the toughest moments. Second, it takes resilience. You will face setbacks. You will experience failures. You will have moments where you want to quit. But resilience is about bouncing back, not staying down. It's about getting up every time you fall and continuing to move forward. Resilience is the ability to handle discomfort and turn it into fuel for your journey. And the more you practice resilience, the stronger it becomes. Third, it takes patience. Pushing through discomfort isn't always a quick fix. Sometimes the hardest challenges require long-term effort. You might not see results immediately, and that's okay. Trust the process. Keep showing up. Keep pushing. Eventually the discomfort will turn into strength, and the strength will turn into success. Remember that discomfort is not your enemy. It's your ally. It's the catalyst for your growth. The teacher that shows you what you're capable of. Every time you push through it, you become a little bit more unstoppable. Every time you step into the discomfort, you gain a little bit more courage, a little more confidence, and a little more clarity. You become the kind of person who doesn't run from challenges, but faces them head-on and rises stronger because of them. In the end, the decision to push through discomfort is the decision to embrace your potential. It's the decision to choose growth, no matter how difficult it might be. It's the decision to show up for yourself every day and to trust that your efforts will pay off. You are capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for. The discomfort you face today will become the strength you rely on tomorrow. Keep pushing, keep growing, and watch as you become the person you've always known you could be. Habit 16. Face your fears instead of running from them. Fear is not the enemy. Fear is the greatest sign that you're on the edge of something extraordinary. Every time you feel that knot in your stomach, that tension in your chest, you're standing at the threshold of growth. Fear is the challenge you must overcome to become the person you're meant to be. It's not something to avoid or run from, it's something to face head-on, because beyond that fear lies your greatest potential. Fear holds us back. It traps us in a prison of what-ifs and maybe-nots. It whispers in our ears that we're not good enough, not ready, not capable. But that voice is a liar. The truth is, your fear is not there to stop you. It's there to show you where you need to grow. Every fear you face brings you closer to breaking free from the chains that have held you back for too long. It's time to stop letting fear control your life and start using it as a fuel to propel you forward. When you look fear in the face, you're telling the world that you're no longer willing to be a prisoner of your own doubts. You're telling yourself that you are more than capable of handling whatever comes your way. Every time you push through your fears, you reinforce your strength, your resilience, and your ability to handle anything that life throws at you. Fear loses its power over you once you stop avoiding it. And once that happens, you begin to unlock a version of yourself that is unstoppable. Ask yourself, when have you felt most alive? Was it when you were comfortable and safe, or was it when you stepped out of your comfort zone and into the unknown? The moments that define us, the moments that shape us into the people we're meant to become, are the ones where we face our fears and refuse to back down. It's those moments when we rise above the fear, when we push past the discomfort, that we experience the most growth. Growth doesn't happen when we sit on the sidelines. It happens when we step into the game and take control of our own story. Fears come in all shapes and sizes. Some of us fear failure. Others fear rejection. Some fear success itself because with it comes more responsibility, higher expectations, and the pressure to perform. But here's the truth. All of these fears are just illusions. They're constructs of our own minds, created from past experiences, negative stories, and what-ifs. None of these fears have the power to define you unless you let them. You have the power to rewrite the story you've been telling yourself. The key is not to ignore your fears, but to confront them with a mindset of courage and action. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the willingness to act in spite of it. Every time you take that step forward, despite your fear, you build your courage. It's like a muscle that gets stronger the more you use it. And eventually, you'll find that the very things that once terrified you no longer have the same hold over you. They lose their power, and you gain control. The first step to facing your fears is acknowledging them. Don't try to hide from them or pretend they don't exist. Denial only gives fear more power. Instead, take a moment to reflect on what scares you. What are the things that have been holding you back? Is it speaking in public? Is it starting that business you've always dreamed about? Is it reaching out to someone and risking rejection? Whatever it is, take ownership of that fear. Write it down. See it for what it is, a fear, not a fact. And then ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if you face it? Once you acknowledge your fears, it's time to take action. This doesn't mean you have to take huge leaps immediately, but it does mean you need to start taking small, deliberate steps toward overcoming them. If you fear public speaking, start by speaking in front of a mirror or recording yourself. If you fear failure, take small risks that challenge you to grow. If you fear rejection, put yourself out there and learn to handle the no's with grace. Every small action you take will build your confidence and reduce the hold fear has over you. One of the biggest mistakes we make when facing fear is overthinking. We imagine all the worst-case scenarios, build up the fear in our minds, and then let that fear paralyze us. But the truth is, we often overestimate the danger and underestimate our ability to handle it. Fear feeds on uncertainty, but once we step into that uncertainty and take action, we realize that we're much stronger than we thought. Fear loses its power when you act, even when you're scared. And you'll be amazed at what you can handle when you stop letting fear control your choices. Fear will always be a part of your journey. It's a natural response to the unknown, but how you choose to respond to that fear is what sets you apart. You can choose to let it hold you back, or you can choose to use it as a springboard for growth. The more you face your fears, the more confident and resilient you become. You start to see challenges as opportunities to expand your comfort zone, to become better, and to get closer to your goals. Facing your fears isn't just about conquering the big scary moments. It's about developing the mindset that fear is just a sign that you're on the right path. Every time you feel that fear rising up within you, remember that it's a signal that you're pushing yourself to new heights. The more you confront fear, the more you realize that it's not the monster you've made it out to be. It's just another challenge to rise above. And with every challenge you face, you get one step closer to the life you've always wanted. Think about the most successful people in the world. They didn't get to where they are by avoiding their fears. They got there by facing them head-on, by learning to act despite their fears, by using fear as fuel for their growth. Fear didn't stop them, it pushed them forward. They learned to embrace it, to use it as a teacher, and to keep moving forward in the face of uncertainty. That's how they became who they are today, and that's how you will become who you're meant to be. Facing your fears is about reclaiming your power. It's about deciding that you will not let fear dictate your actions or limit your potential. It's about showing yourself that you are stronger, braver, and more capable than you ever thought possible. Fear will always be there, but it doesn't have to stop you. In fact, it's only through facing our fears that we can unlock the full potential of who we are. So the next time fear shows up at your door, don't run from it. Don't shy away. Walk right up to it, look it in the eye, and say, "I'm ready, I'm going to face you, and I'm going to win." Because that's how you take control of your life. That's how you transform fear from an obstacle into a stepping stone. That's how you break through to the other side of greatness. Keep moving forward, keep facing your fears, and watch how your life changes for the better. Habit 17. Limit screen time to protect your mental clarity. In a world that's constantly connected, it's easy to feel like we're never fully present. The constant notifications, the endless scrolling, the noise of the digital world, it's all overwhelming. Yet, we have a power that most don't recognize, the power to control how much we engage with technology. If you want to protect your mental clarity and take back control of your focus, it starts by limiting your screen time. Think about how often you reach for your phone or open a computer screen without even thinking about it. It has become second nature for most of us. But here's the truth. This constant connectivity is stealing our ability to think deeply, focus on the present moment, and truly engage with our surroundings. Every time you check your phone or get lost in social media, you're training your brain to jump from one thing to the next, never truly sitting with a thought long enough to gain clarity. Your mind needs space. It needs quiet moments to process, to reflect, and to grow. But when you're constantly bombarded with distractions from your screens, you're denying your brain the time it needs to recharge and stay sharp. We all need time to think and breathe without the constant tug of digital chaos. Limiting screen time is an act of self-care, an investment in your mental clarity, and a step toward reclaiming your focus and productivity. Every day, we're flooded with information. Much of it is irrelevant, much of it is negative, and most of it doesn't require our attention. When you allow yourself to be constantly immersed in this stream, you're essentially training your brain to be distracted. It's like trying to focus on a task while someone is shouting at you from every direction. The brain can't operate effectively under that kind of stress, and as a result, your focus, clarity, and creativity begin to suffer. Your mental energy gets drained, and your sense of purpose becomes muddled. Limiting screen time is about more than just avoiding distractions. It's about creating boundaries to protect your mind. You can control how much information you take in. You can control how much time you spend on screens and how much time you dedicate to quiet, reflective moments. This kind of self-control is vital for anyone who wants to achieve clarity and make thoughtful, intentional decisions. The more you practice limiting screen time, the more you'll realize that your mind is capable of great things when it's given the space and quiet it needs. But limiting screen time isn't just about putting down your phone or stepping away from the computer. It's about creating intentional spaces in your day where you're present with yourself, your thoughts, and your surroundings. When was the last time you sat without a screen in front of you? When was the last time you went for a walk without your phone? These moments of true presence are essential for maintaining mental clarity. It's in these quiet moments that your mind can clear away the noise and regain its sharpness. When you limit screen time, you give yourself the gift of real presence, and with it comes greater mental clarity. We've become so accustomed to the constant input from our devices that we don't even realize how it's affecting us. But take a step back and think about how you feel after hours of scrolling or staring at a screen. Do you feel energized or drained? Are you more focused or more scattered? The truth is, screens can hijack your attention and leave you feeling mentally exhausted. Limiting your screen time can help you regain the energy and focus you need to thrive. By cutting down on distractions, you'll have more time to focus on your goals, deepen your relationships, and take action toward what matters most. It's important to remember that you don't have to completely cut out technology from your life. We live in a digital age, and there are undeniable benefits to being connected. But there's a big difference between using technology intentionally and letting it control you. Limiting your screen time means you use it for what truly matters, to connect with the people who matter, to learn, to grow, and to create. It doesn't mean you have to abandon all digital devices, but it does mean you're mindful of how much time you spend on them. You're in control. Technology doesn't control you. The first step toward limiting your screen time is awareness. How much time do you really spend on your phone or computer each day? How much of that time is spent on activities that add value to your life? How much of it is just mindless scrolling or passive consumption of information? Being honest with yourself about how you're spending your time is crucial. Once you recognize the problem, you can begin to make intentional changes, set boundaries for yourself, decide when and where you'll use your phone or computer, and stick to it. For example, you might decide that you won't check social media during the first hour of your day, or that you'll stop looking at your phone an hour before bed. Set specific times for checking emails or catching up on news. And once that time is up, put your device down. Create screen-free zones in your life, places or times where screens are not allowed. This could be during meals, while spending time with loved ones, or during moments of rest. Once you begin to limit your screen time, you'll start to notice the benefits. You'll feel more focused, more grounded, and more in control of your time. Your brain will have room to process and reflect, and you'll start to realize that you can achieve more with less distraction. Limiting screen time isn't just about avoiding negativity or wasting time. It's about creating the mental space you need to succeed. It's about giving your mind the opportunity to rest, recharge, and refocus on what truly matters. One of the most powerful things you can do is to create a morning and evening routine that supports mental clarity. Your morning routine sets the tone for your entire day, so starting your day without jumping straight into your screen can help you stay centered and focused. Similarly, having an evening routine that doesn't involve screens will allow your mind to unwind and prepare for restful sleep. These routines are a way to nurture your mind and protect your mental clarity by keeping screens in their place. It's also helpful to realize that your screens are often filled with distractions that don't serve you. The constant notifications, the messages, the updates, these are designed to capture your attention and keep you engaged. But your mind doesn't need constant stimulation. In fact, it thrives in the absence of it. The more you limit your screen time, the more you'll notice how much peace comes from being free of the constant noise. The power of limiting screen time goes beyond just improving focus. It also enhances creativity. When you stop allowing your mind to be bombarded with information, you free up space for new ideas, insights, and creative thoughts to emerge. The moments of silence you create by limiting screen time are when your best ideas will come to you. Whether it's during a walk, while journaling, or just sitting quietly, the absence of screens allows your brain to connect the dots in ways that wouldn't be possible if it were distracted all the time. By limiting screen time, you're not just protecting your mental clarity, you're investing in your future. You're investing in the ability to think clearly, make intentional decisions, and focus on what truly matters. You're taking control of your time and creating space for what's most important in your life. The more intentional you are with your screen time, the more you'll find that your mental clarity improves, your focus sharpens, and your ability to succeed in life strengthens. It's a small habit with huge rewards, and it's one that you have the power to change right now. So start today. Limit your screen time and protect your mental clarity. Take back control over your time, your thoughts, and your life. By doing so, you'll unlock the ability to be more present, more focused, and more successful in everything you do. Habit 18. Review your day honestly before you go to bed. Every single day is an opportunity to learn and grow. But here's the truth. If you don't take the time to review your actions, your decisions, and your results, you're missing out on the one tool that will unlock your true potential. The habit of reviewing your day honestly before you go to bed can be a game changer in your personal growth journey. It's not just about reflecting on what went well. It's about looking at your day with clear eyes, recognizing what you could have done better, and finding the lessons in every moment. You might wonder why this small practice can have such a powerful impact. It's because, in that quiet space before bed, you allow yourself the chance to evaluate the day as a whole. You give yourself permission to be honest about what you did, how you did it, and what the outcome was. This is where growth starts, when you confront yourself, face your decisions, and own the results of your actions. It's in this honesty that you'll find clarity, direction, and strength to take on the next day with renewed focus and determination. This practice doesn't require long, drawn-out sessions or deep philosophical thinking. It's about creating a moment of pause at the end of the day to honestly reflect on what happened. When you do this, you gain perspective. You see the areas where you excelled and the areas where you fell short. You recognize the patterns in your behavior and begin to understand the reasons behind your successes and struggles. This awareness is essential for real progress. Let's break it down. The act of reviewing your day before sleep helps you develop self-awareness. When you assess your actions and behaviors, you begin to see the stories you've been telling yourself. Are you making excuses for not taking action? Are you settling for mediocrity in areas where you know you could perform better? Honesty helps you strip away the layers of denial and self-deception so you can face the truth about who you are and where you want to go. This awareness isn't about beating yourself up. It's about gaining the insight you need to make improvements. It's about being kind to yourself while still holding yourself accountable. In that moment before sleep, ask yourself simple yet powerful questions. What did I do today that moved me closer to my goals? What moments did I let slip by where I could have been more focused, more disciplined, or more committed? When you look at your day through this lens, you stop seeing it as just a series of random events, and you start recognizing it as a series of choices that can either move you forward or hold you back. This is where real growth happens. Every day is a chance to make decisions that align with your highest potential, and reviewing your day gives you the clarity to identify those moments. The key is to be honest. This is not a time to sugarcoat your day or to make excuses. It's a time for unflinching honesty. Did you procrastinate when you knew you should have worked? Did you let distractions take over when you should have been focused? Did you let fear or doubt prevent you from taking bold action? Recognizing these moments allows you to take responsibility for them. You own your actions, and in doing so you empower yourself to make a different choice the next time a similar situation arises. It's in the honesty of self-reflection that you become aware of your habits and your tendencies, and that awareness is the first step toward changing the habits that no longer serve you. When you review your day with honesty, you also create an opportunity to celebrate your wins. It's easy to focus on what went wrong or what didn't go as planned, but don't forget to acknowledge your successes, no matter how small they may seem. Maybe you stayed focused for longer than usual. Maybe you made a difficult decision that was in line with your goals. Perhaps you took action, even when you didn't feel like it. Celebrate these moments because they matter. Recognizing your wins helps you build momentum, and it reminds you that progress isn't always about achieving perfection. It's about moving forward, even in small steps. As you review your day, take note of the areas where you fell short, but don't let them define you. Acknowledge them, learn from them, and then release them. There's no need to dwell on mistakes or regret your actions. Instead, focus on the lesson each experience offers. Perhaps you didn't handle a situation the way you would have liked. Reflect on it, but don't get lost in self-criticism. Instead, ask yourself, what can I do differently next time? This simple shift in mindset allows you to turn mistakes into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. As you review your day honestly, you'll also notice patterns in your behavior. Are there certain triggers or situations that consistently lead to negative outcomes? Are there specific habits or thoughts that hold you back from achieving your best? This insight is invaluable because it gives you the information you need to break free from the cycle of behavior that isn't serving you. When you understand the root cause of your actions, you can begin to make conscious decisions to change your responses moving forward. This practice of daily self-reflection also helps you establish a deeper sense of accountability. The more you hold yourself accountable for your actions and decisions, the more control you have over your life. You are not at the mercy of your circumstances, you are in charge of your outcomes. By reviewing your day each night, you take full responsibility for what you did and how you did it. This sense of personal responsibility empowers you to make better choices in the future. You stop blaming external factors or other people for your results, and you start owning your life. This is the ultimate form of self-empowerment. Another benefit of reviewing your day is that it helps you release the mental clutter that can keep you awake at night. The thoughts, worries, and to-dos that swirl around in your mind can prevent you from getting the restful sleep you need to perform at your best. By taking the time to review your day before bed, you create a sense of closure. You're not just mentally replaying the events of the day, you're actively processing them and putting them into perspective. This allows you to let go of any lingering thoughts or worries and enter a peaceful state of rest. But the power of this habit doesn't stop with self-reflection. As you review your day, you're also creating a foundation for the next day. Self-reflection is not just about understanding today, it's about preparing for tomorrow. By identifying areas where you could have done better, you can take proactive steps to improve tomorrow. Maybe you realized you didn't prioritize your most important task, or maybe you allowed distractions to steal your time. By identifying these patterns, you can set clear intentions for the next day. You can decide to start your day with focus, to set boundaries around your time, or to be more mindful of your habits. The act of reviewing your day honestly before bed is a tool that helps you sharpen your focus, improve your decision-making, and increase your overall performance. It's a simple habit, but it carries profound benefits. It teaches you how to be self-aware, how to be accountable, and how to learn from every experience, good or bad. It allows you to honor your growth, celebrate your wins, and take responsibility for your setbacks. In the long run, this habit will change your life. It will build momentum, reinforce your commitment to personal growth, and align your daily actions with your bigger goals. The power lies in the honesty and clarity that come from reviewing your day. It's a habit that will sharpen your focus, enhance your self-discipline, and help you make more intentional decisions. So, as you prepare for bed tonight, take a few moments to review your day. Reflect on what you did, what you learned, and how you can do better tomorrow. This practice of daily reflection will build a stronger, more resilient you, one decision at a time. It's time to start taking charge of your progress, owning your actions, and making each day count. The person you are tomorrow begins with the decisions you make tonight. Habit 19. Take small actions even when you feel lazy. When you're tired, when the motivation seems to vanish, and the comfort of laziness calls your name, that's when the real battle begins. It's easy to push things aside, to convince yourself that you'll start tomorrow or that one day off won't matter. But here's the truth. Those small actions you take, even when you feel lazy, are what separate the winners from the dreamers, the achievers from the wishers. Every single time you act, no matter how small the step, you're building momentum, discipline, and a mindset that refuses to quit. Now, don't get me wrong, it's natural to feel lazy sometimes. We all do, but the difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't about never feeling lazy. It's about what you do when that feeling arises. You can't wait for the perfect moment to act. The key is to take small actions even when you feel like doing nothing. This is where the power lies, in the moments when you don't feel like it, but you push through anyway. This is how you develop the self-discipline that will carry you through every obstacle in your life. When you take small actions in the face of laziness, you're teaching your mind that you're in control. Laziness doesn't control you. The excuses don't control you. You're choosing to take action, and that's the kind of mindset that will get you further than any fleeting burst of motivation. Motivation comes and goes. It's not something you can rely on to carry you through every day. But discipline, built through small, consistent actions, will keep you moving forward when motivation is nowhere to be found. These small actions are more powerful than they seem. You might think that answering one email when you're feeling lazy doesn't make a difference. But it does. It's the first step, the first domino in a chain of events that will lead to bigger accomplishments. Every time you push yourself to do something, no matter how small, you reinforce the habit of taking action. The more you do this, the easier it becomes to act, even when you don't feel like it. And over time, those small actions add up to major results. Think about it this way. If you don't take that small action now, what are you doing? You're giving in to that momentary desire for comfort. But when you choose to take that small action, you're planting a seed of progress. It might not feel like a huge leap, but it's a step forward, and that's all you need to keep moving. Don't wait for motivation to hit you like a wave. Instead, get in the habit of moving, no matter how small the step. The more you practice this, the more your mind will accept it as the norm. Let's look at a simple example. You might wake up one morning feeling tired and unmotivated. You know you have a list of things to do, but all you want to do is stay in bed. Instead of giving in to that lazy feeling, commit to doing just one thing. Maybe it's getting out of bed and drinking a glass of water. It doesn't matter how small the action is. The key is that you've started. Once you've taken that first step, the momentum starts to build. That one small action can lead to another, and then another. Before you know it, you've knocked out your entire to-do list, and all because you decided to take that first small step. The same principle applies to every area of life. Whether it's exercising, working on a project, or learning something new, you don't need to take giant leaps to make progress. You just need to commit to taking small actions, even when you don't feel like it. The more you practice this, the less power laziness will have over you. Over time, you'll begin to see that the longer you resist acting, the harder it becomes. But when you break through that resistance, the world opens up. This is how you build resilience. It's not about pushing yourself until you burn out. It's about pushing yourself just enough, even on days when it feels hard. Taking small actions is the secret to consistency. It's not about doing everything perfectly or checking off every box. It's about moving forward, even when you feel like retreating. And this is the mindset that will set you up for long-term success. There's another powerful benefit to taking small actions. It keeps you grounded in the present moment. When you're feeling lazy, your mind tends to drift into negative thoughts about the future. You start thinking about everything you have to do, how much you have left to accomplish, and how overwhelming it all is. This creates anxiety and stress, which only makes laziness stronger. But by focusing on one small task at a time, you stop worrying about the bigger picture and give your mind a simple goal to focus on. This shifts your mindset from one of overwhelm to one of productivity. Even if you're not feeling particularly motivated, taking that small action allows you to feel accomplished. There's something deeply satisfying about knowing that even when you didn't feel like it, you got up and did something. This builds your confidence, and confidence leads to more action. It's a positive feedback loop. The more you act, the more you believe in yourself. The more you believe in yourself, the easier it becomes to take action. This process of pushing through laziness with small actions also helps you combat the trap of perfectionism. Often, we don't act because we're afraid of doing things imperfectly. We want everything to be just right before we start. But perfectionism is paralyzing. It holds you back from taking even the smallest steps forward. When you focus on taking small actions, instead of waiting for everything to align perfectly, you give yourself permission to fail. You understand that failure isn't a dead end, it's a lesson, and it's better to fail by taking action than to fail by doing nothing at all. Now let's talk about how small actions compound over time. Each day you have the opportunity to make progress, even if it's just a little bit. By taking small steps daily, you're steadily moving closer to your goals. You might not see immediate results, but trust me, they're there. Like a snowball rolling down a hill, small actions will build on each other until you're looking back and realizing how far you've come. The power of small actions is in their consistency. It's not about big bursts of effort. It's about showing up, day after day, even when you don't feel like it. There's another crucial point to remember. Your future self is depending on the actions you take today. Every time you push through laziness, you're setting yourself up for success. Think about the person you want to become, the goals you want to achieve, and the life you want to create. Those dreams won't happen on their own. They're built through the small, consistent actions you take every single day, even when you feel like doing nothing. When you push through those lazy moments, you're not just doing something for today, you're doing it for your future. In conclusion, every time you choose to take small actions instead of giving in to laziness, you're strengthening your discipline, building momentum, and moving closer to your goals. The key is to take that first step, no matter how small it is. It's that step that breaks the cycle of inaction and creates forward momentum. So the next time you feel lazy, remember this one small action is all it takes to change your trajectory. Keep moving, keep acting, and keep building the life you want, one small step at a time. The future you is waiting for the actions you take today. Habit 20. Speak your truth, even when your voice shakes. The moment you choose to speak your truth, even when your voice shakes, you step into a power that few people ever experience. It's a moment of clarity, courage, and self-respect. And here's the reality. The most freeing thing you can do in life is speak your truth, because that truth is your authentic self. And when you speak from that place, nothing can stop you. So many of us hold back our truth because of fear. We fear rejection. We fear judgment. We fear that if we speak our truth, we might be seen as too much, too intense, or simply not enough. But here's what no one tells you. The only person you need to worry about accepting your truth is you. The world is full of voices trying to tell you who you should be, how you should act, what you should believe, and what is acceptable. But when you speak your truth, you silence those voices and connect to a deeper part of yourself, the part that knows exactly who you are, what you stand for, and what you will no longer tolerate. In a world where it's so easy to hide behind masks, to play it safe, to say what others want to hear, speaking your truth is a radical act. It's an act of rebellion against the pressures and expectations that weigh us down. And let me tell you, speaking your truth doesn't always mean shouting it from the rooftops. It's often quiet, it's often subtle, but it's always powerful. The fear of speaking your truth doesn't come from the truth itself, it comes from the fear of vulnerability. When you speak your truth, you expose your innermost self to the world, and that can feel terrifying. You might worry that others won't understand, or that they will criticize you for your honesty. And yes, there might be moments when your voice shakes. But let me tell you something important. When your voice shakes, it means you're growing. It means you're stepping into something real. And in that moment, you become an example of bravery and strength for everyone watching. It's not easy to speak your truth, especially when it goes against the grain. But when you do, you show up for yourself in a way that no one else can. Your voice, shaky or steady, becomes a powerful force in the world. It becomes the foundation for everything you want to achieve and everything you want to be. It's the only path to authenticity. And authenticity is the key to living a fulfilled, meaningful life. Every time you hold back from speaking your truth, you diminish your own power. You sacrifice your voice, your vision, and your own integrity. Every time you stay silent when you should speak up, you reinforce the idea that your thoughts, feelings, and ideas don't matter. But here's the truth: your voice matters, your perspective matters, and your truth matters, no matter how uncomfortable it might feel to express it. The truth has a way of finding its way out, whether you speak it or not. If you hold it in, it festers, it builds up, it weighs on your heart and mind. But when you speak it, it releases that weight. Speaking your truth is an act of liberation. It clears your mind and gives your spirit room to breathe. And that is one of the most freeing things you can ever do. When you begin to speak your truth, you'll notice something incredible. People will start to respond to you differently. Some may resist it, but others will gravitate toward it. Authenticity is magnetic. When you speak from a place of truth, you attract the right people into your life, people who value you for who you really are, not for who you pretend to be. And those are the relationships that matter most. They are the ones that will fuel you, support you, and lift you up as you continue to grow. It's important to remember that speaking your truth doesn't mean being aggressive or confrontational. You don't need to tear anyone down to speak up for yourself. Speaking your truth is about being clear, kind, and honest. It's about setting boundaries, standing up for what you believe in, and making choices that align with your values. It's about saying, "This is who I am, this is what I believe, and I'm not going to apologize for it." In fact, the more you speak your truth, the less you'll need to apologize for who you are. It's easy to get caught up in trying to make others comfortable, trying to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. But the more you do that, the more disconnected you become from your own authenticity. The truth is that you don't need anyone's approval to be who you are. You don't need anyone's permission to speak your truth. When you speak it, you give yourself permission to exist exactly as you are, without shame or fear. There's a magic that happens when you stop holding back. Speaking your truth opens up a space for others to do the same. It creates a ripple effect that spreads far beyond you. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you give others the permission to do the same. And in that vulnerability, there is an incredible amount of strength. It's a reminder that we are all human. We all have fears. We all have doubts. But it's in speaking our truth, despite those fears and doubts, that we find our true power. The more you practice speaking your truth, the more confident you will become in yourself. Confidence doesn't come from avoiding difficult conversations or hiding from uncomfortable truths. It comes from showing up, even when you're scared, and telling the world who you really are. Over time, you'll notice that the shaking in your voice begins to fade. The fear doesn't disappear completely, but it becomes manageable. And that's when you know you've truly stepped into your own power. Now, speaking your truth isn't always easy, and it isn't always met with acceptance. There will be times when people challenge you, criticize you, or try to silence you. But remember this: other people's opinions of you are none of your business. When you speak your truth, you don't do it for the approval of others. You do it for yourself. You do it because you are worthy of being heard, and you refuse to shrink yourself to fit someone else's expectations. And here's another important lesson: the truth can be uncomfortable, but it is also freeing. When you're honest with yourself and others, you release the burden of hiding behind a mask. You stop pretending to be someone you're not, and in doing so you unlock your full potential. The truth doesn't limit you, it sets you free. It creates a space for you to grow, to evolve, and to live in alignment with who you really are. So what does it mean to speak your truth? It means finding the courage to say what's on your heart, even when it feels vulnerable. It means trusting that your voice matters, even when it shakes. It means knowing that your truth is worth sharing, no matter how uncomfortable it may feel. And it means standing up for yourself, your beliefs, and your values, no matter who may disagree with you. When you speak your truth, you step into a life of authenticity, power, and freedom, and no one can take that from you. So the next time your voice shakes, remember that it's just a sign of your courage. Keep speaking, keep sharing, and keep owning your truth. The world needs it, and most importantly, you need it.